This is not the end, she says. She's drenched in blood. You laugh and say, good God, are you crazy? Without enough fun. What's flowing like broken glass in your ears? But against all odds it starts to make sad hands and you feel we were selfish and now together think of everything we could be. We could be friends.
Living out someone else's life when we didn't choose.
Well, time has a funny way of changing what's meant for you. And if we can have it on, we'll walk a little walk down all these things that we could be. Whatever you need to, she says, not too much. You gotta keep her head in, don't give right now when you lose that crush. And if we can learn from what we messed up last time, we'll go everything we could be.
It's not going to be enough. David Weishart's going to come through and win at Nashville. To the bottom on the inside. He tried it.
both
The
on
one
the
is off
track.
course. The green light is off course. They're both off the track as they're trying to win the race. And coming down the tri-oval for the final time, Nate Trito's going to do it. He wins at the Daytona Road Course.
What a race, what a finish.
The 03 of Ryan Hartz comes off turn 4 and wins at Dover. Bum on the bottom, trying to generate a run. He can't do it. Coming off a turn 4, making it 2 in a row, it's going to be Eric Weiland winning the Risk the Gamble 210. Off turn 4 for the final time. Turn on the inside. Oh, his teammate on the outside. They're down in the grass.
Oh, no.
It's going to be the 54.
How about that? Wow, what a finish.
Cameron Hearn finished second last week at Daytona. He's going to get the job done here at Homestead. He wins the America's Auto Auction 210.
This is where it's going to
Here
happen.
he comes, the 15 of Cameron Hearn, and here comes the 12 of Weiland down on the bottom. It's going to be a side-by-side battle here, coming to the line. Weiland on the bottom, Hearn in the middle. Jacob Bell going to go in the grass, side-by-side at the line. Who's it going to be?
What a finish.
Spinning and winning is the 12 of Weiland.
What a finish. Goodness, man, you couldn't have scripted that any better.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series live here at Darlington for race number 8. This is the Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500 presented by Lodgebox. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is Ken Kushwa and executive producer Harold Darner. How's it going, guys?
Well, it's going. It's Darlington. It's the lady in black, the one that's going to glue them to the wall if they get too close. And there's a lot of money on the line tonight, Hunter. So I think we're ready to see a little bit of racing.
Absolutely, along with the $15 that goes to the best throwback scheme decided by you, the viewers, the fans at home. There's a prize pool for tonight's Southern 500. So the first place finisher, the driver that wins the race, will get a cool check for $100. Second place will get $50. Third will get $25. Fourth will get $20. Fifth will get $15, and there's also a $10 prize to the pole winner. So that could be Mr. Connor O'Kresick. Could be Connor O'Kresick tonight, if he's on the pole, that is.
I have been noticing they've been giving their money away to some really good charities when they won this week. So hopefully that trend continues as well.
Absolutely. Love to see that from our fellow drivers here. And while we got about 6 minutes left in our practice session, for those that are just tuning in this week, a little recap of what you missed last week at the Daytona Road Course. It's not going to be enough. David Weishart's going to come through and win at Nashville. To the bottom on the inside.
There's the Daytona Road Course.
That wasn't it. All right, guys, we'll have to figure that out. Okay, I will get it in there. Go ahead, keep talking, and I'll fix it. Hey, somebody linked me way too many things today. I'll just say that.
Just a little technical difficulties here, folks. Nonetheless,
We'll get it
it was
up
an
here.
interesting finish last week at the very end.
Yep. We can recall it if you want, Hunter. I can pretty much remember what happened when they went into the
Give
grass.
me a second. Give me a second. I'll get it right off. I just had to go get it because, like, they all kept giving me that hype video. Everybody loves it, so I got it linked to me 1,000 times. But I do have the other one, so here it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As you watch the track on that screen there, you see that Garrett Grant has kind of distanced himself a little bit. AJ said the cone did nothing.
Oh, Brad Slaughter. Sorry, Brad Slaughter just got a little tap from behind by Garrett Heath, and it sent him into the grass. Everyone keeping it straight, and there you see the 15 of Cameron Hearn.
That will be a
chicanes.
penalty. You'll have to give that back. All right. So
Quite a bit of an issue here for Cameron Hearn. So he comes
chicane.
into the NASCAR chicane.
Oh!
Wow! Oh my goodness!
The turtles revolted.
Cameron Hearn going upside down at the Daytona Road Course. Normally we would see that from the oval because
Yeah.
he wasn't fast enough to do blowovers. He just ran over that turtle and he went barrel rolling.
I think you might have been right that time, Hunter. That could have been an alligator he hit.
Alligator.
I don't think a turtle's going to make him roll like that.
I don't think a deer's going to make you roll like that either.
Yeah, just,
Less than half a second between the two. It's now 3 laps to go here at the Daytona Road Course for the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Scott McClendon trying to hold on, getting his first career win in the Araya League and in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. But Nate Trito also trying to do the same with the better tires, better fuel strategy. So head into International Horseshoe.
The blood is in the water. Blood and the shark is on the carcass. That's it right there, that little wiggle. I don't know what else he can do to hold him off.
There's just
Throw a
mirror
block.
driving at this point. Now the one's going to pressure McClendon into overdriving one of these corners, potentially the Western Horseshoe as he goes up high. Trito trying to diamond it down to get a run on the bottom. Trying to get on the quarter panel. Looks like he's got the edge on him. But McClendon has the better approach as they head out of turn number 6 and heading into NASCAR turn 1. But here comes Trito on the bottom. This is the pass for the win, and it's going to go to Nate Trito in the 1.
Yeah, the 29 slid off that corner coming off of the infield.
Yep, there wasn't much more he's going to do after that.
Scott McClendon did all he could do to keep the 1 behind him. It looks like he's going to try. No, he's not going to even try. It looked like he was going to make a abrasive move to the inside.
Well, we got to see how much fuel McClendon still has. I mean, he's on 14 laps right now.
Here he comes. He's coming back. The 1 had a bit of a wobbly exit there from the backstretch chicane. And McClendon looking to the outside now. Side by side for the lead. McClendon not going down without a fight.
There's absolutely no way. He comes around him, gets in the front side. Let's see what he does. He's going to
contact is made.
Yep.
The 29 of Scott McClendon has 14-lap-old tires, and he's trying to make it on fuel also while trying to get his first career win. 2 laps to go at Daytona.
Unbelievable.
Not really sure. I really don't know how that happened. It looked like he was done for. Now here comes the 1 back to the bumper of McClendon.
He's
pushing him wide through turn 1. They head into turn 2.
He's not giving up. He's not giving up at all, Hunter. He's not going to give that up at all. He said, "The heck with it. I'm going to fight you until I'm done."
Frito trying on the outside, McClendon on the inside as they head through the International Horseshoe. They're going to be side by side here, heading up to the kink. Trito looking like he'll clear the 29. So they head through the kink and now to the Western Horseshoe. Here comes McClendon looking like he's going to make a move to the bottom on the inside. Woo! They tried it.
They both go to the grass.
The 29 is off course. They're both off the track as they're trying to win the race.
David Weishart is grinning from ear to ear.
Oh boy! David Weishart and Gary Grant are catching these two as they're literally fighting off the track, trying to get their first win. Both of these guys down the backstretch chicane for the final time. Nate Trito, a dominant performance that was almost thwarted by the 29 of Scott McClendon. Gave him a bit of a scare, definitely. So Nate Trito only raced 2 times this season in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Got 7th at Las Vegas. Qualified 2nd at Dover. Didn't get a good finish in the 17th spot. But here he is coming off NASCAR turn 4 and through the NASCAR chicane for the final time after a dominating performance. It would either be between him or David Weishart. And coming down the tri-oval for the final time, Nate Trito's going to do it. He wins at the Daytona Road Course. And that was a little recap of what you missed last week at the Daytona Road Course. It was a very exciting one at the very end, won by none other than Nate Trito over Scott McClendon. McClendon almost had it at the very end, lost the lead, got it back. They went off-road racing for a little bit, and then they rejoined the surface. And whenever they did, Nate Trito drove away.
He did indeed do a little mowing of the grass in that last part, but shout out. I said it while we were watching it. Shout out to McClendon. He did everything and everything he could to stay with him when Trito went past him, but just not enough in the end. But great race. Glad we got a chance to see that.
Did you see there? That is the number 11 of Richard Thomas going for his qualifying lap. Got 2 laps here slated, 10 minutes of qualifying, 10 minutes for the drivers to put down 2 laps. A little over 9 minutes left in the session now. It's basically if you smack the wall, especially at a track like Darlington, your lap will not count. Whether it's on lap 1, lap 2, it will not count. And should point out the winner for the pole tonight gets an extra $10. So a lot on the line here very early on. And in the chat, you'll see the poll is now up for you, the fans, to vote your favorite throwback scheme. We'll do our best to get you a look at those throwbacks. Those being David Weishart, Garrett Heath, AJ Roderick, Tyler Hallman, and Brad Slaughter. So make sure you get your vote in. So there's Richard Thomas working his way through 3 and 4, and now we'll go to the 5 of Garrett Grant, who's completing his lap sideways off turn 2.
I think we'll see a lot of that tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely will. Here's one of the cars that you can vote for. It's the 23 of Garrett Heath.
The old Winston cigarettes design before it became the Sprint Cup.
Absolutely. Him and Infinite Gaming looking to wrap it up and get the pole here. And there's the 3 of David Weishart. Really like this one.
Good looking car. Yeah, good looking throwback.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with Dale Sr.
That you tend not to, that's for sure. We got some, Mr. Elwood Blue joining in, and we all know what happened there. He subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Elwood. And then I see Go Heath is on there from G Wells 24. So we've got some people chiming in already and following along.
And there on your screen, you see sideways off turn 4. That's Brad Slaughter Jr. That's another one of the paint schemes that you can vote for the favorite throwback. It was a Bobby Hamilton throwback. Here's another one, the 52 of Tyler Hallman. This one received the most votes on our website, areairacing.com. Was the most votes to transfer into the last 5. And then there's the AJ Roderick machine. It's the tied throwback to Ricky Craven when he won at Darlington by 2 1/1000ths of a second over Kurt Busch.
I like that one a lot.
Absolutely, can't go wrong there. So we look on our time right now. Nate Trito's currently got the pole. You see that's 18 of Danny Ware coming off turn 2, the number 18.
Just a little bit of admin work there. The AJ Roderick machine showing the 26 on the car. Join the server as the 13 tonight.
All right.
So he's that's the tied machine.
Hey, do me a favor and hit the clarity button again, Harold. Because it's everybody else sees it beautifully.
I'm not sure. We got some things I'll try to work on, but kind of what I got is what I got right now.
It's Hunter's fault.
Yeah, just put the blame on me.
That's right. 18 coming across.
Yeah, he smacked into the wall in turn 3 that time, so his
Ow.
lap on lap 1 will count. So that should put him, where is he? 8th on the track. There's Brad
AJ
Slaughter Jr.
AJ apologized, Harold, for screwing up the numbers again. He did type that in there.
Whoops. He said, what had happened was...
Right. See what happened.
Now, this one is not a part of the throwback, but it's another one of my personal favorites. This is Eric Weiland in the number 12. You'll see his in-car or in-booth setup. He's got a Rusty Wallace hat on.
It is a good-looking car. We did mention that as well.
Absolutely.
I like that paint scheme a lot.
Nothing wrong with a little Ryan Newman throwback.
No.
He gets a little loose there coming off turn 2. Still got 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in qualifying. So the pole will stay up until the end of qualifying.
David Weishart, a number 3 car, coming out of nowhere for the throwback win. I mean, he was at 0 last time I looked. Now he's got 9 votes.
There's the 12 of Wineland. He hits the wall there in turn 1 and 2, and that will do it for him. This lap will not count. This lap is currently slated 14th amongst those that qualified. Still got 6 drivers left who have yet to put down a lap, those being Ed Robertson, Jacob Bell, Kyle Knapp, Christian DeBoer, Davey Hendricks, and Scott McClendon. So about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left for you guys to get your last minute, some last second votes. So right now it looks like David Weishart's got over half the votes.
All right, well, let's see if I can fix that.
There's Wiley going to hit the wall again. Here's Garrett Heath. He's currently 7th on our board. There's Jacob Bell hitting the wall coming off turn 4.
So we've seen quite a bit of that already, and I would assume that is going to be an ongoing thing for us again.
Oh, yeah. It's been an ongoing problem all week. Started Monday night, carried into Tuesday, Wednesday, and it seems like it'll be a problem tonight as well. Jacob Bell's running the Sam Hornish throwback. By the time he ran the 77 Mobile One scheme.
It's a good-looking scheme on his car as well. I like that one as a lot. I said it Monday night. I said it Tuesday night, and I'll say it again tonight. All of these guys have put in a heck of an effort on these paint schemes. I've loved all of them. Jacob's not going to test all the walls to see how strong they are. But they've done, I mean, I just shout out to all the designers and those guys that put forth the effort. I watched the race last night, and there were some really cool schemes there too.
Oh, absolutely. It is a challenge for those that aren't designers to make paint schemes, and those that are very talented enough to have their design on a race car. It takes hours, sometimes days, to craft the perfect paint scheme, and we appreciate everyone all throughout the weekend here for Araya making the throwbacks.
If you haven't seen it done, the car's not flat. So in the way they do it, with the vinyls, they're able to do it on the car and all the pieces are together. The way the templates are done is the car is basically flattened like a globe, like an orange would be flat. And then you have to kind of figure out how the pieces are all going to go together to make some of those designs go from the top of the hood to the side of the car. And it is very precise work, and hats off to these guys to making what they look at pictures show up in reality in the sim.
No doubt. It's great to see that.
So we've got about less than a minute left in qualifying. Still 5 drivers who have yet to put down a lap. One of those being Scott McClendon. Had a great race last week at the Daytona Road Course. Almost had at the very end. Holding off Nate Trito as long as he could, and then passing him again on very old tires and trying to stretch it on fuel at the same time. So there he is rolling into turn 3. Into the wall and spinning, so that lap will not count. So we saw him pull out of his lap before. And it looks like that's going to do it. So your pole sitter is going to be the one of Nate Trito, coming off a pole last week at the Daytona Road Course and the win. He starts on the pole and gets an extra $10. And looks like those that are voting, get your votes in now. The poll is about to close. There's one of the it's one of the paint scheme templates on our screen.
That's my Sasquatch car.
Yes, that is. You try to fit it this year. There it is. So that's all those. That's how it looks like when they're done with it, and then it gets put onto the car. So you got to get all those pieces to work together.
One day I will be driving that on the track, I think.
We haven't talked about that yet either, so we're kind of a little bit behind.
Let's go to that.
Yeah, just a little bit behind. Here's your points picture. This was after the Daytona Road Course. So you got Eric Wineland Davey Hendricks, David Weishart, Cameron Hearn, and Ryan Hart's currently locked in. Nate Trito only ran 2 races, so he is not locked into the playoffs. So you see the drivers in yellow are currently in at the moment, and those in red are the first 4 outside, those being Ed Robertson, Delonte Ballard, Scott McClendon, and Ryan Honeycutt. Just a quick little look at our playoff picture. Now let's take a look at our starting lineup here for tonight's Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500. On the pole will be Nate Trito, followed by Cameron Hearn in second, Brad Slaughter Jr. third, Richard Thomas fourth, and David Weishart fifth.
Going off in 6, you got Connor Okrezik, Garrett Heath in 7, Danny Ware coming off in 8th, Blair Patterson in 9th, and Delonte Ballard in 10th.
And then 11th, you'll find Tyler Hallman, 12th, Garrett Grant, 13th, AJ Roderick, 14th, Jacob Bell, and 15th, Eric Wineland.
16th is going to be Mr. Robertson's Ed Robertson, Scott McClendon, Davey Hendricks going off in 18th, Christian DeBoer in 19th, Kyle Knapp rounds out our starting grid in 20th.
And there you see the drivers pulling through for their 1 pace lap. And in the chat, you can see that David Weishart is your favorite throwback scheme. So he wins the best throwback for the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Got 40% of the votes, and that'll be an extra $15 into the pocket of Mr. Weishart.
Well, as you said before, you can't go wrong with Senior, can you?
No, absolutely not. Real quick, want to touch up on some things. So Cameron Hearns won Tuesday night and Wednesday night. Could he win Thursday night?
I wouldn't vote against him, but that's just me.
With that being said, who are your picks to win tonight's race?
I was trying to think about this over and over and over again, and I feel like if I don't do my buddy right, I'm just going to go ahead, AJ Roderick. I'm going to pick him. I know I've probably just cursed him, and I apologize. I'll get you a new bottle, but AJ.
And I'm going with the 14 of Connor Okrezik and that Cameron Hearn throwback in the purple chrome there.
They come off turn forward. Green flag is going to fly. Got 200 laps here tonight at Darlington. Want to point out my pick was the 11 of Richard Thomas.
Oh, you went with
Just
John
didn't get
Boy.
it out in
That's
time.
good. Yeah. You'll have to look that one up when I see John Boy Hunter. It'll take you a while.
He's got Google, man. It's not like us where we're having to go figure it out.
I know.
These kids walk around with a freaking library in their hand.
That's true.
So they roll off turn 4, and leading lap number 1 is the one of Nate Trito. So that's a bonus point. Every lap you lead here is a bonus point, and the driver that leads the most laps gets another bonus point.
Looks like these guys are taking a page out of last night where they're just going to go single file and let this race kind of tick away. Not do anything crazy off this front. It's 200 laps. Big race. Largest race mileage-wise that we're going to have in the entire ARIA iRacing Season 1.
Absolutely, and didn't get to mention it in the pre-race, but typically for a race we would have 3 sets of tires. For this race, it being 200 laps, we have 5 sets. So 5 sets, and that's going to allow the drivers to race a little bit differently than what they're typically used to.
Well, that'll give them a better strategy move as well.
They have 5 sets in the pits plus the one on them for a total of 6. But yeah, they'll definitely. But this is a track that needs it. This is like running around on sandpaper.
Well, and everybody went to the top quickly because, as we've learned all week, that's what you want to protect is that upper groove. They're not passing in the corners underneath most times. They're waiting until they get to the straightaways to do it.
Yep, and should also mention this is one of the few times we'll be seeing the drivers run in the 750 horsepower package. It not being a mile and a half, it's 1.3 miles in length, so it gets the 750 horsepower package that we typically see at the short tracks and the road courses.
Interesting. So far, nobody's getting away either, and that, I mean, the first 5 are right there, pretty much nose to tail. Then you see Danny Ware in that gap in the middle, and then you go back from there. to Delonte Ballard.
Yep, so far so calm. Only lap 6 of 200.
I believe there was a tappage of the wall there in the.
By Blair Patterson.
Yeah, Blair Patterson enjoyed that moment. Kept everybody going straight though. That's a good move.
Side-by-side battle there for the 4th spot between the 14 of Connor O'Kresick and the 11 of Richard Thomas. O'Kresick representing the throwback paint scheme of Cameron Hearn from the Daytona race.
Yes, and his 14 backwards is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. If we could get a little close up on that, had a bit of a laugh before we went live.
Yes, indeed. The skill and quality of the scratch on 1.4 is, it's you can't describe it. It's phenomenal.
It's a car you can't rarely miss either. It's dark purple, stands out on the racetrack, especially under the lights here at Darlington.
I was gonna say lights tend to bring it out even more.
Here's Eric Weiland looking underneath. I believe that's Blair Patterson.
Drew
That's back
Trader.
around.
Drew Trader's picked up on the feed there, and he's asking, "Is it over yet?"
Close. We're almost there.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Almost at lap 10, if that means anything to anyone.
Those of us that are calling
There, Weiland.
tonight does not.
Weiland nearly got into the back of Patterson as he
Yep.
scraped the wall coming out too.
I think
Looks like they're
Blair's
up
just
front.
trying to test every wall as he goes around. That's all, Hunter. He's just trying to feel the car out and the wall at the same time.
Comes the 23 of Garrett Heath underneath the 21 of Delonte Ballard. Ballard looked like he clipped the wall there coming through turn 4, and that allowed the Heath machine to get a run. They're side by side coming out turn 2. Always a little bit sketchy. Sometimes they go 3 wide down the straightaways, although it's not recommended. So you saw the 5 of Garrett Grant pass Ballard. Now Ballard getting attacked by Tyler Hallman in the 52.
He's going to be bringing along some fun people as well. Scott McClendon there driving along. Is going to try to get into that mix also.
Yep, Scott McClendon now on the outside of Tyler Hallman. They'll be side by side coming out turn 2. Boy, you can barely get 2 cars there side by side through the corners, but when they try 3 wide, you're risking catastrophe.
Jacob had some momentum there too, coming into that. So he's going to try to stay on that outside and keep that car pinned down below him.
Looks like he'll let the
let
52
him
of
up.
Tyler Hallman up in line.
He probably was listening and did it on. That's fine. Very nice of you, Jacob. Nice job.
And now Hallman underneath the 29 of Scott McClendon. This is around for the 11th spot, by the way, as third place, Brad Slaughter sideways off of turn 4. Battle for the lead starting to heat up with Cameron Hearn on the bumper of Nate Trito.
And if that makes sense, Hearn's a long run driver. I'll get it out eventually. Long run driver, so he's just he'll pull them in little at a time. I notice he's going up on the outside a little more when they go into the corners instead of dragging low.
That's around the lane you want to be in for turns 3 and 4. The 1 and 2, you'll slowly see the drivers try and go low, especially right here with turn 2. Loose there. Here comes the 15 of Hearn to the bottom.
Fast. Yep, loose is fast.
Loose is indeed fast. Now that top prevails through 3 and 4, and Nate Trio is going to hold on to the spot for the moment.
Connor O'Kresick showing up in his strength, getting up to that 3rd spot, right behind Brad Slaughter.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how many laps that's going to take him to make that move, Harold. But he certainly is driving a good race right now.
Yeah, O'Kresick all over the bumper. Slaughter back there for 3rd with the 11 of Richard Thomas lurking in the distance. Trito and Hearn slowly pull away from them, and now O'Kresick has passed the 81 of Slaughter. Thomas in hot pursuit.
These two are just walking the dog right now. I mean, Krezik's now almost 2 seconds behind. It's baffling how quick those two are up front.
Whoa, looks like we got a battle in the back there for 5th as Slaughter looks a little
Brad seems to be
slow.
going backwards, yeah.
Yeah, the 3 of David Weishart closing in. Slaughter was low there through turn 4. Not sure if he clipped the wall or got loose. Unless he falls back to the 6th spot. Weishart up to 5th now.
Danny Ware's coming in that picture quick, so.
Yep,
See if
Danny
Brad
Ware
can get
lurking in the
control.
back.
Yep, see if Brad can get control, get back up there and start running hard. Jacob Bell underneath there on the move, going into the turn.
Yep, our very own Jacob Bell.
Taking a beautiful position move there to.
Actually, there might have been some contact there as these guys are closer towards the back of this pack.
Yes, they are.
There see Jakey's right behind. Oh, Blair Patterson just got on the wall again coming out turn 2. He's back in the 17th spot when he was at one point battling for 11th. So you see that's the 3 of
A lot of it
Weishart.
seems to be reactive to Hunter as well. Some of them are letting off because they think the guy before him is going to hit a wall or just get out of line. So a lot of this seems to be reactive driving too.
Absolutely, and we briefly touched on it before the race started, but these drivers now have 5 sets of tires instead of 3. I feel like that could definitely play a difference into how these drivers handle the race. Not only it being Darlington, but you got another set of tires, potentially for a green-white checker potential if that happens.
So on the on the Twitch feed, no, we do not have confirmation that Michael Lipe has returned from orbit. There is a comment here that he may still be on the moon. We cannot confirm or deny the position of Michael Lipe's car in space. But if you wanted, you can call NASA's 24-hour hotline. They might be able to give you a little more information.
Actually, I heard something that Santa Claus was looking to employ the 26th of Michael Lipe to help deliver gifts for the winter.
Well, then if you want that information, call NORAD, and they'll tell you how it's going to happen. If you didn't see Tuesday night's race, I highly recommend you go back and you get an eye of what happened to Michael Lipe, who is still currently floating in space. And I still say the guy that was eating the hot dog there was scared to death too. Sorry, Hunter. It was just, yeah.
Yeah.
We have our first calamity of the night with Kyle Knapp Sr. pulling it behind the pit lane.
Yeah, so it looks like Kyle Knapp is done for the night. That'll drop the car count down to 19.
Kratos put a little more gap between him and Cameron as well, I see.
You know, Drew Traderham has a pretty good idea there. Maybe he went up to the moon to get the Tesla and bring it back.
He's racing the... Oh, my gosh.
I'll say we also did not touch on this, but fuel window for tonight is 48 to 50 laps. So we could see drivers stretch it to around lap 50 or above lap 50 if that's even possible.
There might be somebody that does that, but I don't think so with the way the tires are giving out. Because yesterday we were seeing 2.5 seconds difference between fresh tires and old tires. That's a lot to give up on a 30-second lap.
So we did the calculations up in the booth before we went live. If this thing goes green to the end, the earliest we could see drivers make it on sets of tires, they could pit as early as lap 40, because then they could split it into 40, 80, 120, 160, and then have another set at the very end. That's if you're doing the tire strategy. If you're doing fuel strategy, then you can make it on potentially 3 pit stops. But with that being said, pitting here is one of the most difficult parts because the pit entrance, it's so low, and you gotta slow down so much in the transition off of the banking in turns 3 and 4. Banking down there is 23 degrees. So it's a It's a steep decline whenever you're slowing down to about 45, 50 on the pit road.
You see the yellow line on the screen right there showing the entry in a pit lane, and it's almost off of turn 4 at the point that you enter down there. And if you don't get down on the commit cone, you will receive a penalty by iRacing.
Well, and all week long, we've seen guys struggle with that, coming off and just as hot as they can be. Some of the guys are smart, start down about right into turn 3, but man, oh man, there were some guys that needed to come in and couldn't because they were going too fast earlier in the week.
We see the front two spreading out now. The 14 of Conroe Kresick is slowly reeling in these top two, getting closer to that 15 of Cameron Hearn. Broken away from David Weissart, about 3-second gap between the two.
Yeah, that's
There's a little
amazing.
train behind Weissart for the 4th spot. Got Richard Thomas about 4 car lengths back. Then Danny Ware and Garrett Grant, all in a little bubble source from 4th to 7th.
And then all of a sudden you got to drop another 3-4 seconds back to Eric Wineland and Davey Hendricks, and it's just amazing how much they spread out.
Yeah, Eric Wineland's really coming through. He started all the way back around, I want to say 15th? 15th, yes. It was either 14th or 15th. He's all the way up to 8th.
He's running some
Didn't
good
have a good.
laps.
He didn't have a good lap in qualifying, and his practice times weren't up the chart either, but he is making his way through.
Brad
Saturday,
Slaughter
Brad
Jr.
Slaughter.
did pit.
Okay.
2 laps ago, yeah.
That means 1 lap down now.
Very interesting there. It's a different strategy that I did not see coming.
I'm not so sure it wasn't caused by him either getting into something, because remember, he dropped like a rock for a couple laps. I'm not so sure there wasn't some kind of damage there, but if you look at it, he only did 14.2, so probably not.
But now remember, if he did hurt the car, he's most likely lost the tires, and he came down for 4 tires because he couldn't handle the car out there. Remember, we were talking about him hitting the wall quite a bit.
The one of Trito continues to lead. Lap 31 here of 200 for the Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500, presented by Lodgebox.
And the top 2 are running pretty much identical lap times as well. Maybe a little off here and there, but for the most part, they're both running 30.8.
Yeah, about 30.8 between the two of Trito and Cameron Hearn. About 10th off there with Conor Kresick, who looks like he smacked the wall there.
Yeah, Trado is just blistering up top. Everyone else is running, well, other than Brad Slaughter is running 29.7s right now. But that's because he's got fresh tires.
Yeah, there's a big difference in the lap time there. Brad Slaughter at 29.7 that previous lap, and then the leader Nate Trito at 30.877. So a little over a second difference between the two.
Well, Nate Trito's best lap was 28.8, and he's running a 38. So he's 2 seconds slower than going around this racetrack. You know, that's quite a bit. You're talking about 14 laps, and you're giving up in a lap.
Yep. He got awfully close to the wall that last time. Not so sure Cameron didn't pull in a little bit on him that time around.
He ran a lap time in the 30s, and Nate Trito just a tick above the 31-second lap mark.
Yeah, like I said, I think he just brushed it. I don't think he slammed into the wall, but it was enough to slow his momentum, because now he's back at 30.9. So, and Cameron goes to 31. It's just tires doing what they're doing.
A wobbly exit there from the one of Trito.
Of all the guys out there, I mean, Garrett Grant, Eric Wineland and Dave Weishart are all running times equal to what the leaders are running. They've got so much space between them out of the track that it's not where. Here comes Slaughter on his brand new tires.
Yeah, we just passed the 5 of Gary Grant there. This would be around the battle for 5th, as the 11 Richard Thomas is right in front, and Slaughter's going to go ahead and peek his nose down on the bottom. Clear him before turn 3.
Brad's going to try to get back to that point as fast as he can and get that lap back, but I just think eventually his tires are going to even out way too much.
I should also mention there's a bonus point for any driver that does not get any penalty points, as in like smack in the wall or colliding with another car. I'll be surprised if there's anyone that comes out of this with a bonus point in that department.
Yeah, that'd be hard pressed.
The more precise is incident points.
Yes.
Versus penalty points. And an incident can be, as we were talking about, if you hit the wall hard enough, it'll be a 2. Now, you can get a Darlington stripe and still have a 0. We saw that last night. So that would still be able to get, but if you hit it hard enough, you'll get a 2. Right now, we've got a lot of drivers throwing 0s down, which means they haven't not hit another car or hit that wall. And you get a 1 for leaving the racing surface if deemed by iRacing as well. But, so far, only a couple drivers having points. Eric Wineland has 4. He's actually one of the higher ones, and Blair Patterson has 8, but we saw him basically pancaking his car several times on that outside retaining wall.
As you see there right in front of the leader, that is Blair Patterson. So they are approaching lap traffic as we are about to make pit stops. I would assume we're close to that window of drivers for tires. They could pit equally on lap 40, 80, 120, and 160, leaving them a set at the very end, or those that choose to stay out and play the fuel strategy game. You'd see them stretch it to up to lap 50.
Yeah, I think you start seeing green flag pit stops start here. You see there's Heath. Looks like he's returning. That's Garrett Heath. He's coming back onto the racetrack, just behind the race leader.
Pit lane.
Yeah, Garrett Heath just came off pit road. The 91 of Blair Patterson actually went on the pit road. So you'll see Heath on the bottom, trying to get his lap back. So I believe that's to stay
1 lap down.
Yeah, it's to stay 1 lap down. Blair Patterson now 2 laps down.
Remember, they still have the number 1 will still have to pit, so that's actually not a bad spot where the 23 is at right now.
Oh, there's Cameron Hearn. He ducked to the bottom. He is on the pit road. That could be the approach we see from drivers trying to make green flag pit stops tonight as they approach turn 3. They pull off the racetrack and run the bottom.
I hate to
Like
ask
way below the apron.
I hate to ask this question, but could we see a 200 lap green flag run?
No, not now. Not since Ken brought it up.
I think I did that on purpose.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So he essentially jinxed it.
Yeah.
Yes, on purpose.
On a purpose.
Quote me, you can do whatever. You can hate me for it, but yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see a little. I love cars stretched out, but I don't love it this much.
But Trito, I'm
There you
surprised
see
is
some more
staying out.
Drivers.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Robertson coming.
Had
off
Robertson
the pit lane.
pitted, Jacob Bell pitted. Got some more pitting. AJ Roderick pitted. Good bit of these drivers are pitting from Cameron Hearn on back. Weishart made a pit stop. Danny Ware, Garrett Heath, AJ Roderick, Garrett Grant. Those 2 still on pit road, Roderick and Grant.
It looks like Trato's trying to put the entire field down at least a lap.
But, at what cost, though? He's losing about two and a half seconds a lap right now.
Playing the fuel strategy.
Yeah.
And that's a possibility as well. But again, as Harold said, at what cost? I don't know that it's hurting him too much right now, Harold.
Well, the top 7 are still out there in the same strategy as he is, and he's leading the way with that. With Eric Wineland actually putting up a little bit better times, but they're still pretty good. But no, Brad Slaughter, you know, he's got 18 laps. He's doing 30.3s, a whole second faster. Cameron Hearn is a little over 2 seconds faster in the 9th spot. Currently a lap down.
Those that have yet to pit include the one of Nate Trito, Conor Kresick, Richard Thomas, Eric Weiland, Davey Hendricks in the top 5. Then Scott McClendon, Christian DeBoer, who have yet to pit. Brad Slaughter's made a pit stop. He's on 17 laps currently on his set of tires.
They got about a straightaway distance as you see Trito's entering 3 and the 15 of Cameron Hearn, who scored a lap down, is on the backstretch. So I just don't see it working out because he's going to have to deal with that coming in here. So,
well, again, if he's running full fuel strategy, he's got 2 more laps to go, and he'll be coming in on the 48 lap. So, we'll see what he's doing there, but that's a possibility.
Definitely
These
have
guys
to check
here
it
are
out.
trying to get
Heard
the
in his-
to 1.
I'll say we heard in his post-race interview last week, he's just here to have fun.
That's true.
With him, this is his 4th race of the season. We're on race 8, and his win last week will not count towards a spot in the playoffs. So he's really just racing here to have fun. And he had fun last week, leading the most laps at the Daytona Road Course and winning. And currently he's led all of the 48, well, they're on lap 48, but basically 47 laps of the race has been completed. He's led all those laps. And we have yet to see him come down pit road. So we mentioned Scott McClendon now on the pit road.
Putting only 5
Well,
cars
with the 54
leaving.
of Davey Hendricks.
Only 5 cars now have not pitted.
Yeah, Davey Hendricks and Scott McClendon are on the pit lane as we speak. Hendricks just returning from the racetrack. McClendon in his pit box awaiting service.
So I would assume.
So once all
we'll
this
see
cycles through, once all this cycles through, the leader is going to be Brad Slaughter out of this because he made his pit stop early.
Here comes Trito
And
now.
it's about a
There you
6-second gap between Slaughter and Cameron Hearn. And the one of Nate Trito's in, the 56 of DeBoer is in. Here comes
He's too
Hendricks.
fast.
Oh, that's not Hendricks, excuse me. Sorry, that's Conor Kresick. Here comes Richard Thomas in.
I'm not so
Hendricks
sure
ran a
Kresick
purple-
didn't go too fast.
Hendricks ran a purple Skittles paint scheme, and that's
And
the
look-
first thing I thought of.
Look at Mr. Fuel still out there.
Yep. Still out there.
And I said 50 laps. He's gonna show me that he can do more.
And there he goes. Into the. It looks like he'll be making his pit stop this time as he slows it. And safely on the pit road is the 12 of Eric Weiland. So this is going to put the lead up to that car on your screen, the number 81 of Brad Slaughter. And he's got a gaggle of cars behind him.
Oh, no doubt.
None of those are for position, at
they're
least
all trying to get
not
them
the
back,
Slaughter. They're all trying to get their laps back. Yep.
Yep. This could make
There
for an
you see,
interesting
that's
time.
Delonte Ballard and Tyler Holman. There's AJ Roderick
AJ
also. So this
Roderick
is
there.
back. This is back in 12th, and there's 13th going underneath him. 14th. That is Davey Hendricks.
Davey Hendricks, yep. Scott McClendon is there.
So that puts 14 cars back on the lead lap here, with that 11 car who's in the back of him right now trying to make it 15 cars on the lead lap.
Garrett Grant got one of his 4 back, so that's good news. And if this does go green, I mean, there's a chance that Garrett could maybe weasel another lap back. He's down to 2 laps down now, so.
Very well could be. So they're right behind. That's the 15 of Cameron Hearn.
That's
He's
for the lead
all the
right
way
there.
up. That is for the lead. And then right behind those two was the 12 of Weiland, who just came out of pit road, and no contest there. The Cameron Hearn machine back in front. Weiland now on the bottom. He's trying to get, I believe, 1 lap back.
1 lap back,
Yep.
yep.
He's trying to get back on the lead lap.
Well, look at that. Well, where, see now when we get this cycled around here, we're going to see the distance between Hearn and Weishart. And look how far back Trito
6
is.
seconds, yeah. Yeah, Trato's way back there in 16 seconds. So what you said was right. It did not help him at all. And these guys that just went around Slaughter are about to feel the wrath of Cameron Hearn, and they're going to go back down those laps again.
Cameron Hearn's going to have to work this traffic, and that's not helping
This is
his
quite
lead.
a gaggle. No, not at all. Actually, that 5 car you see on your screen, that's Garrett Grant. He is only 1 lap down.
I've shown him 2.
Oh, yeah, no, now it's 2 laps down. So he had a bit of a lengthier pit
Ballard's-
stop as this was 44
Ballard's
seconds.
trying his best to stay in front of Hearn.
Wineland trying to get around to get his lap back. He doesn't want to be the lucky dog. He
Oh, and
wants to
they
keep
both hit the wall simultaneously.
Simultaneously, both catching the wall. Wineland goes underneath safely, and he's going to get away from that mess. Cameron's had enough. He's going around.
Looks like Garrett Grant might have been in the wall too, just a little bit. So he is off the pace compared to the leader.
AJ's got to put the hammer down, or he's about to get caught here.
Nate Trado's throwing 9.5s now, about a second faster than Cameron Hearn. There's 8 laps difference in their tires.
And 1 wall different, so.
That helps the car go faster.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Aerodynamics, man.
Ah, that's right.
Aerodynamic 101. That's right.
The thinner the faster. Okay.
As long as you don't mess up the tie rod or anything when you hit it really hard.
Well, they didn't look like they hit very hard. Looks like they kind of skated around it, but still enough to, at least aerodynamically change. Oh, there's AJ into the wall.
They're all trying to follow Cameron Hearn's slingshot maneuver off of that 4th corner, but no one's been able to pull it off just yet, including Cameron Hearn.
That's true. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And poor Wineland. Eric Wineland's got to get around that group, Hunter. He's fighting every chance he does.
Wineland's got to get around the group. Cameron Hearn's got to get around that group. He's at the tail end of this.
Yeah, I get it, but...
And he's in the wall again. He's sideways now.
Saw that last night where Cameron Hearn almost let the win go by hitting the wall on the backstretch towards the end of the race.
Here's what it sounded like, Hunter. And Cameron Hearn touches the wall.
Oh, come on.
It wouldn't have been like Hunter, elevating and jumping through the ceiling. No. It was today's weather coming off the wall.
Hey, we're taking a page out of the IMSA calling, where it's more European-ish. Where,
well, then do the accents at least, for crying out loud.
Crikey!
Give me an Irish priest or something. Goodness. Ethan Begarm, they're coming out of turn 5. He just touched the wall. I don't think he's going to make it, boys.
That sounds Irish.
That's
He
what I
is
said.
Irish priest.
Irish priest.
I've been tuning out.
He's been dipping a little bit that wee whiskey.
Oh, I know what you're tuning into, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm tuning into a beatdown of my
You
favorite
indeed
football
are.
team.
You are.
And it's not looking pretty. I don't know which screen I want to watch more.
It's a tough question. We can get into the accents again. I could throw Marvin the Martian in there if you need him, just to excite things up.
I'm gonna preserve my voice for the very end because I feel like the very end might have some interesting battles because
I
once
like
again
your
this is
enthusiasm.
there are prizes on the line, cash prizes on the
Now
line.
this-
Right now,
An
the spot
interesting,
Cameron Hearn is. Oh, go on.
an interesting dilemma. The 81 of Brad Slaughter Jr. has pulled his car into the
Are you
garage.
kidding me?
That's a shocker.
Wow.
So Brad Slaughter with the early pit stop, all for nothing because he is disconnected from the server. So he's out of the race along with Kyle Knapp. So that leaves the car count at 18 at the moment. They're still on the track, 13 of which on the lead lap. First car 1 lap down is the 14 of Scott McClendon.
Hey,
29.
Brad, get on here and tell us what happened.
The 29 of Scott McClendon, I'm sorry. The 14 is Okrezik.
Press it.
Yeah, Connor O'Kress is currently sitting in the 4th spot right now. Not a name that we typically see in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Trying to dip down and grab some cash while he's at, because the top 5 do have payouts. The spot that he is currently in, Conor Kresick, would pay $20. So the top 5 are all going to get paid tonight. $100 going to first, 50 to second, 25 to third, 20 to fourth, and 15 to fifth.
And look at
Yeah,
the
a
guy
little bit
that's
of
just
a-
outside of the money here.
A little bit of a dilemma back there, right behind Jacob Bell.
Jacob Bell. Gonna pay himself. You gotta like that.
He's just outside. He must not want to be paid. He's just outside.
Oh, he's just holding on for the,
There's an interesting battle there behind the 12 of Eric Wineland. Looks like that's Garrett Heath. That's might have scraped the wall there. Looked a little bit slow coming out
Yeah,
of the
because
corner.
Ed Robertson caught him in a hurry.
Some sparks.
Well, that's the thing we haven't touched on all night. That's Matthew Robinson. So it looks like he's right behind the 5 of Garrett Grant, who's currently 18th on the racetrack. Actually, no, that is the 11 car, excuse me, of Richard Thomas.
And it's Ed Robertson, not Mr. Roberts. Not
I
Matt.
didn't. I know. It's Ed Robertson, Mr. Ed. Wilbur, I'm driving hard.
Because Matt, I know they're kind of opening up for this race, but Matt runs ARCA, and the ARCA guys cannot compete in the Cup Series.
They should have did it this week. They should let everybody in ARCA drive tonight. That would have been a blast. Because if you've not watched them this year, ARCA is a fun group to watch.
Not only ARCA, but the Truck Series, Northern Capital Truck
I
Series.
didn't want to throw that out there about how awesome Tuesday nights are. I'm trying to give other people their due, Hunter. But yes, the trucks are freaking awesome. They are. They're a blast to call. They're as competitive as you can be. And on this track Tuesday night, we had people leaving the track. We had them. I mean, it was, we did an interview upside down. So.
Well, he had to get out of the car. I want to make sure people knew that he was good. He was okay.
He was out of the virtual car, yes.
Out of the virtual car, yes. But it was a nice spin while he was upside down for a while. This is the old gopher cam.
And this is actually where I sat, just on the other side of the wall there, of course, on the first
I would
night
hope
race
so.
here at Darlington. And I tell you, being this close to the track, you get a hair full of rubber. But it's cool, it's loud, and it's fun.
Hairful.
A hair
Well, I don't have any
full.
hair, so I would just have rubber up there.
It'd be more painful.
It would be slightly more painful, yes. Harold, kick the thing again.
We're
I
on
need-
currently
need
lap
a bigger
70,
hammer.
200.
Yeah, you need a bigger hammer because
Delonte Ballard in the 21, another race car driver behind pit wall.
we don't have enough to everybody keep going. Listen, I don't care if you got flames coming out of your car. Keep driving. We need to talk about stuff. So get out there and drive. Blow up. I don't care. Go in reverse. Whatever it takes.
But if you go half a lap in the wrong direction, iRacing will disqualify you. Just so
Well,
you know.
make it look good. I don't know what to tell you. Light
And
your hair on fire.
they'll throw a yellow flag as well, because
Well, we need that.
that shows a negative speed as far as iRacing goes, and they go, what the heck, and they throw a yellow flag. So not that I've tested that or anything.
No, this not speaking of wisdom or anything like that.
Coverage of tonight's Miller Racing Graphics Throwback 500 is presented by Northern Capital. We would like to give a big thanks to Russ and Steve Anderson of Northern Capital for their support of the Northern Capital Chuck Series. One of those Northern Capital sponsored drivers would be the 3 of David Weishar, who's currently in the second spot at the moment.
Not
the number
currently in
3
dragon mode.
Now,
There we
there,
go.
see, there's a little bit of our throwback graphics, as Harold likes to mention. What was the game again?
That was
Days
Days of Thunder.
Thunder for the Super Nintendo.
yeah. You know what looks cool, Hunter, is now it looks like it's part of the games from back in those years. Oh, I said that out loud. My fault. My fault.
Absolutely. Just wanted to hear Harold say that again.
Yeah.
So that's the number 3 Northern Capital car
Oh!
that was
Cut the
voted the
wall.
best throwback scheme.
He just
Yep, you
bruised
just
it.
saw him scrape the wall there.
He just
Testing it.
he bruised it.
Yeah, just slightly, ever so slightly. There's that Ryan Newman throwback you love so much.
Yeah, that's a 12 of Eric Wineland. Wineland currently sitting in the 6th spot at the moment.
Who currently looks like the Stig in the picture from that excellent British show.
So I'm looking through the drivers who have already pitted. Some of these guys are approaching lap 25 of their run, so we're going to be a little bit closer to seeing these guys come down pit road for another
Whoa.
tire set.
Mr. Robertson.
Away.
That's in front of our very own Jacob Bell, who's currently sitting in the 9th place right now.
I thought he got a little squirrely, but he kept it on the racetrack.
He left in a hurry though, didn't he?
Seems like it.
So Dave Weishart slowly chipping away at Cameron Hearn. Cameron's now running in the 31s, where Dave Weishart and Nate Trado. Nate's still running 30.6. Goodness.
He's got 10 laps better tires than Hearn and Weishart.
Well, I get you. And he'll run those 10 laps past him too, like he did on the first time. So
We'll see how much that works out for him in this next group of here.
whoa, hey, there you go. Just scrubbing.
It's AJ Roderick going 8 lanes below the racetrack.
He dropped his baby oil, and that's probably what happened. Then grabbed the steering wheel with a handful, and that'll do it.
Somebody said, throw your water bottle. I'm only kidding. Go pick it back up.
Connor Kresick just disappeared.
Oh, yeah, he definitely did. Manually disconnected. It's interesting.
Manuel.
Not
Hate when
sure.
that happens.
Well, that's extremely unfortunate. He was having a top 5 night.
Yep.
Seemed like he could contend for the win. But that is no
not,
longer
at
the
least-
case.
At least looked good when he got there, you know?
Yeah, top 5 effort from Conor Kresick. All for nothing as he disconnects from the server.
I'm just
So that
concerned. Like,
will-
well, ooh, AJ up into the hills there.
I hope nothing went wrong.
This is the longest race of the season, by the way, at 200 laps. So, some of these guys could be a little tired out from this, or just hitting the wall or going nowhere. But Kresick was running inside top 5.
But
So I'm never really
Kresick
sure what
didn't
happened
even
with
he
that.
didn't even come down to pit lane and a manual disconnection. I'm not sure, where he was on the racetrack when it happened, because if it's a packet loss, it would actually say lost connection, not a manual disconnect. So,
Somebody called Denny Hamlin and see if his daughter's over at Connor's house.
no kid. But she only turned off a monitor and made him crash.
Well, maybe she's gotten better at it and can turn the whole unit off.
Oh
now.
yeah.
Like the guy from Airplane the movie, she's swinging the quarter around going, just kidding. She's unplugged everything.
What can you make of this?
Yeah. A hat, a brooch, a pterodactyl. Hunter's.
Unless it is a manual disconnect, and we
It
will
is.
save our judgment for later.
Yes. Like 10 more minutes, and then we're going to judge him again.
Not seeing anything from race control.
Looking through, Jacob Bell is on pit road. So
Dave
that's the
Weishart.
first of our second to make pit stops. Yes. As we
Dave
mentioned
Weishart as
earlier,
well.
Could see some drivers split it up in 40 laps. There's Roderick getting in the wall in front of our leader, Cameron Hearn.
Jake is definitely on the same scheme he told us he was going to be on, so this is not a surprise. Cameron Hearn diving.
Man, Hearn used to that damage on that right front.
Close to hitting the tire
Yes, he
barriers
did.
there was Cameron Hearn. Actually, that's the water barrels, not tire barriers.
I would have liked
Regardless,
to see
he
that.
almost hit the pit entrance.
Now, this may surprise people, but the 1 is back in the lead. I know that we haven't seen that all night, so this is exciting.
We haven't seen that since the second round of pit stops, or
Yeah.
the first round, excuse me. We're on round 2 as we speak.
Round 2, right.
Cameron Hearn, Danny Ware, Ed Robertson, Garrett Grant, all in pit road, making their
So-
pit stop. Now Garrett Heath making his pit stop also.
viewing feed on Twitch, hey, give us something to talk about, laugh about. You know, the last thing we talked about was Elon's Tesla up in the air. So let's get a little activity there too.
Make your presence known.
Make your presence known, right? Because eventually we're down to 16 cars. Another 100 laps, you have no idea how many will be left.
And we still have racing to do after that.
Exactly.
So we see Tyler Hallman's now on pit road. And Cameron Hearn has rejoined the racetrack in the 7th spot, 1 lap down. So currently 6 drivers on the lead lap. Those include the 1 of Nate Trito, the 12 of Eric Wineland, the 11 of Richard Thomas, the 54 of Davey Hendricks, 29 of Scott McClendon, and the scored 13 of AJ Roderick, although he is not driving the 13 car.
Now, AJ Roderick, I would see him coming down soon. If not, he's got about 8 laps left in fuel. Blair Patterson's going to need to come down shortly as well, about 6 laps. We see Bell going around to getting one of his laps back. Put him 1 lap down now.
Yep, Jake going to be 1 lap down now instead of 2.
I'll be honest.
Are we there yet? We are close. We are 15 laps away from halfway.
Yep, halfway. Yep.
Not doing too bad as far as time-wise, really.
Well, no, because we haven't had anything slow us down. It's been
Good.
green the whole bloody time.
If you haven't figured it out, Ken's the guy that thought that he bought tickets to a demolition derby, and then he saw guys going around not touching each other.
Yeah, I got ballet instead of demolition derby. I don't know what happened. Here we go. Are we there yet? No, we're not. You know we're not. I'm still watching though, just checking the 2. Oh, good.
Chasing the 2-year-old.
Chasing the 2-year-old as well. Listen, I'm old. Shut up. That's okay. He can chase the 2-year-old. That's probably more exciting than watching. I don't know if you all know this, but Nate Trito is in the lead.
By 14 seconds.
Yeah. Surprised not by a week and a half.
Roderick now into pit lane. So now
Next week's a tricky triangle. Even with this many no cars, you know, that should be a little more interesting as far as watching them go through that little hiccup in the back at the tricky triangle. I look forward to that.
well, here we have.
Absolutely, I look forward to that also.
Well, here we have the 2 different corners. There we got 3.
Exactly. And that huge
And there is no
long
turn
straightaway.
Was that? There is no
Which
turn
one?
forward.
That front stretch.
There's
Yeah.
no turn 4, and there's 3 long straightaways.
Yeah.
Whoa, little contact.
Whoa, there
spin.
we go.
Hey, thank you.
That's Garrett Grant getting into the back of Scott McClendon.
Thank you very
Scott's
much.
like, I think I'm going to pit
McClendon
now.
sideways,
Oh,
keeping
no,
it
he just-
straight though.
Guy keeps
So
it
Scott
going.
McClendon, they're getting a little tap there from the 5 of Garrett Grant.
That
Grant,
was a
the
go
last
to the
car
pit
on the-
lane, please.
Garrett Grant, the last car on track in the 16th spot, got 4 drivers that have failed to finish tonight. Those being Kyle Knapp, Brad Slaughter, Delonte Ballard, and Connor Okrezik.
Has it been 10 minutes so we can
Who
talk
will be
about
the next
Connor
to
again?
fall?
Well, you know, it was interesting about the tricky triangle, you know, how they've taken 3 corners from other tracks to make that specific layout.
What 3 tracks?
There's Roderick going
Turn
underneath.
3 is from Phoenix.
Okay.
Nope,
Turn
nope,
2
that
is from
that
Indianapolis.
You were
That
right.
is incorrect.
No? Okay.
Turn 1 is from Trenton Speedway.
Okay.
Know that for a fact. Turn 2 is Indianapolis, and turn 3 is the long winding turn of the Milwaukee Mile.
Ah.
The
See, I was always told it was the
longest
Phoenix flat of Phoenix.
turn
As the 11
that
goes
comes
in. But Mr.
from
Richard Thomas.
Milwaukee. That's right.
Geez,
Keep
you
it off
mentioned
the
Phoenix.
Minnesota,
I
okay?
thought he was gonna do a Ryan Newman reincarnation of 2014, which he did a dive bomb at Phoenix to make the championship for. That's what it looked like. But he's just going on the pit road. And there's the 29 of McClendon still on the racetrack. currently in the 6th spot. Well, now it's going to be 5th after the 11 car of Richard Thomas comes down and makes his pit stop.
Well, the only reason it's released an aggressive 5 car is because he's 3 laps down and he wants to get them all back. So, and I'm
Absolutely.
responding to the chat. So we asked for it. That's what we got. So.
Well, I can tell you though, I'm sure as he's seeing those laps to go tick down, he's like, I got to make these up somewhere, and there's running out of time.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Because he is one of those guys trying to get into the playoffs.
So Nate Trado will be in another 4 to 5 or 6 laps, if you're wondering. He's in no hurry, I would imagine, because he's on a long fuel run. Eric Wineland holding his own in second at 16 seconds behind him. So, I mean, it's a close race right now. Oh, man, that's tough.
It'll be interesting to see how this all pans out after all the pit stops are said and done, and we're on the last section of this, is to see what strategy actually is going to work out.
So that'll take him, to 98 before he probably pits?
He'll come in around lap 100 on our scoring tile, and then we'll see.
Okay.
And then we'll see Eric Wineland come in where you see 101 on the ticker. That's my guess at this point.
All right. I'm saying 98 and 100, but
okay,
that's just because I want to be different than you.
Sure.
That's all.
No worries.
What is that outfit he's wearing tonight?
Excuse me?
Hunter. You see Howie Long?
Who are you talking about?
Howie Long.
That's the trench coat look.
Wow. With the shoes, I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. Can I do some wild outfit? That dude looks like a stuffed sausage in a suit. Folks, if you don't know what we're watching, turn the NFL channel on and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
No, don't do that, because then you'll be distracted from watching the race that you're watching. Stop that.
I didn't say turn this off. I said turn that on, and this is still going.
Uh-huh. I don't want to share my ratings, man.
What? Yes, because the 13 viewers.
Hey, we're
So the
up
guys
there.
up here are slowly starting to lose their mind as we are approaching the halfway point of the Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500 presented by Lodge Box.
Somebody forgot to tell Hunter we are older than he is. Like, extremely older than he is.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Oh, believe me, I'm impatient too.
Yeah, you're waiting for a deer to cross the racetrack just to call something.
Well, this track is in South Carolina, so I'm expecting the catfish to fly out of turn 4 and
Ooh,
fluff
in
onto
the wall
racetrack
was the
first.
toy.
Close to the wall, that was exciting. He's probably doing that on purpose just to get us all worked up.
He might have seen a catfish flying in the sky.
Nah, Michael Light might have finally come back down. All right, Harold, I hate you because if he comes down in 100, you're right, and I hate you. Not in a bad way. I just saying I hate that you're right. Stay out one more. Don't come down. Don't come down. Don't.
No,
come
he is
down.
coming
You
down
stink.
as we speak.
Harold, you stink.
It just go. I mean, I've been doing this for a little while, so.
It's a little sideways there coming into the pit lane, but the one of Nate Trito makes his pit stop. That's going to cycle the lead back to Cameron Hearn. While we're at, let's go ahead and throw our halfway rundown of tonight's
let's do it.
200-lap event presented by Swift Lifestyles. Fans, be sure to visit our sponsor, Swift Lifestyles, for clean supplements to help improve your focus and gaming. Use discount code AREA iRacing, AREA iRacing, for 15% off your entire order. I'd like to give a big thanks to Swift Lifestyles and their support of the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series. Let's get to the halfway rundown. Cameron Hearn has led quite a bit of laps tonight. If it's not Nate Trito, it's Cameron Hearn. And they're on different pit strategies. So right now the 15 car, although it scraped the wall a bit, He is still in front, and he's got $100 in his pocket at the moment. And we move back to the second spot in close pursuit. That's the 3 of David Weishart. He's about 1.5 seconds back. Weishart's had a top 5 car all night. He won the best throwback scheme decided by you, the fans. And look for him to make a second half push here. If he doesn't hit the wall. Then right now, I believe this is third. Yep. The timing is glitched here. Danny Ware in the third spot. I haven't heard too much from him all night. I've seen him back around 7th or 8th. I haven't heard too much about him, which is a good thing because that means he's kept it off the wall, stayed out of trouble. Currently running in third. Danny Ware having a solid night so far.
Yes,
And
he
as soon
was
as I
in
say
the-
that, he hits the wall. Go figure. Go figure. As soon as I talk, he is in the wall. As there's Danny Ware. And then there's our very own Jacob Bell. Actually, no, is that Nate
Trader
Trito?
just
Nate
took
Trito
over.
stayed
Just
on the
passed.
lead lap.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, he
passed.
stayed on the lead lap.
And just to clarify,
Very-
the way the because we are using a throwback, the pylon only updates at the stripe. That's why you're saying they seem a little bit off to you, because our timing and scoring is
Oh, no, we just can't
live,
see it. That's what
and the
I'm
one
saying.
on that side is actually the one that the viewers are seeing only counts at the stripe. So Nate Trito is in 4th spot right now.
That is very throwback. But yeah, Nate Trito, he just came down pit road. He led the first around 40-ish laps. And then he pitted at the very end of the first round of pit stops, and he's on the fuel strategy. So the fuel, you can go about 50 laps at the very most. I haven't seen anyone go over that yet, but that's the strategy he's on. He's currently 4th. Now in 5th is Richard Thomas. Thomas has been hovering around the top 5 spot quite a bit throughout the night. He's been in a few pickly situations, or as Ken would like to say, hairy Sasquatch situations.
That's exactly right.
But right now, he's currently in the 5th spot, and he's looking to hang on to that 5th spot, as that is the last spot that will pay out earnings tonight.
Oh, there's Mr. Ed.
Ed
Mr.
Robertson.
driving into 64. Ed Robertson, yep, driving into 64 in 6th place tonight. He's been out there.
It's a really great run for Ed.
Yep. Jacob Bell, the leader. Oh, great one in the 77, running in 7th place. Again, great paint scheme by the boss. So shout out to that. Baby Hendricks in the Skittles Rainbow Warrior / I'm not sure, but I've got a lot of stuff on it going around. He just goes around Jacob Bell and into 7th. So you see how quickly that changed. Garrett Heath in 9. I love this. I still love this one. The Winston wrapper, so to speak. I like that a lot in the 23 car in 9th place. And then Eric Wineland in the Hunter's favorite, or one of Hunter's favorites, Ryan Newman throwbacks there. He just won around Heath. So that still gives you the top 10, but everybody's just changing as they go along.
Absolutely, and that top 10 rundown, once again, was brought to you by Swift Lifestyles. So we're halfway through, so if it were to rain at some point, the race would be official.
We do need to get a Jack
Whether it's
Link
from
spot.
catfish or precipitation from the skies above.
Alien
There's Ed
attack.
Robertson.
Don't forget that. Alien attack
Yeah.
could happen. It is South Carolina. They see a lot of different things down there.
One of the drivers complained about being probed in the garage, is what you're trying to tell me?
I'm not trying to say that out loud, but I'm just saying that could, And again, we've not heard from Michael Light, so
We don't know what's happening.
we don't know what happened.
Beam me up, Scotty.
That's it. That's exactly right.
So we look through our chat here. One line to design. We need to get a Jack Link sponsorship for sure. Or for
At least
here.
for Tuesday night. we do.
And that's Drew
I
Trader,
am not
by the
opposed
way.
to that.
That would be
Trader?
Drew Trader is the person has that handle there.
I
He's
didn't want to throw him out like that. What if he was trying to stay secretive, Harold?
no, he doesn't. He's talked about. He's told us who he was before. We know this, and he's
Yeah.
one of the painters for the 192 designs. Actually, I believe he's the original painter, and he's got a few other guys now in his stable. Shane Wolf is one of them, and I believe another driver was helping out with paints this week.
That's who I'm glad isn't
Yeah,
here
I was
tonight.
gonna. I was gonna say, One Line to Design. They've won every single throwback contest except for tonight, which went to Samson and David Weishart. But they won all the throwbacks for the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series, Northern Capital Truck Series, and the Lodgebox Series. Those being won by Gary Lewis, Dustin Carroll, and James Shanewolf.
And they all had great looking
And
vehicles too.
did One Mind put one in for tonight? That's the question.
Well, ask him. He's right there. He's paying attention to us.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a car in for tonight.
My bad. I was looking at the. My apologies. I was looking at the designers: Dustin Carroll, James Shanewolf, and Drew Trader. They designed the paint schemes that won the throwback. I know Gary Lewis was the driver that won the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series contest. That was my favorite for that race. And Nick Trader won it for the Northern Capital Truck Series, and then the number 84 car for the Lodgebox Series won it as
They
well.
do
The
not
Dr.
have
Pepper
one
throwback.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he
Do
went
not
3
have
for
one tonight.
3 because they did not
So-
participate tonight.
The Dr. Pepper was killer. I love that one. I saw that one. I just couldn't get the stupid thing to vote. But yeah, the Dr. Pepper looked great.
Yeah, once again, big thanks to all the graphic designers who put their blood, sweat, and tears into designing these cars throughout the previous 4 nights, including tonight. Really, really great to see the throwbacks stand out and bring back some nostalgia for the fans at home watching.
Absolutely. It brought back quite a few memories on some of those cars. Of course, the Mellow Yellow, absolutely loved that. Knew that was coming out because we kind of had a Dom DeLeo
A hint,
special
hint, hint.
drop the week before. Yeah.
There's one of the throwback schemes being the 52 of Tyler Hallman. Hallman's paint scheme won the most votes to get into the Twitch chat tonight, but was
did
not won,
take
and
it.
instead was won by David Weishart. Yeah, Weishart got it. There's the 56 of Christian DeBoer. That was the one I was going to vote for. That is a throwback to the NASCAR Thunder 2003 paint scheme. The red, white, and blue NASCAR Thunder paint scheme on the video game back in, I believe, 2002 or 2003. It's one of those years. Might be 2003, considering
way
it's
back.
in the name of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, way back when I was wobbling.
Wow.
Which is the
Thanks
same.
for making us stink.
Which is
older.
actually the same year that Papyrus Racing created NASCAR Racing 2003, which is the engine that we still use today, right here on iRacing.
Hey, Drew, I did the same
Very
thing.
cool.
That Schwann's paint scheme was awesome. I voted for that yesterday as well. Elwood's Schwann's car was just beautiful.
It was. I really thought that was one heck of a paint scheme.
Yep.
You know, it even with his logos on there, you could still see the Schwann's logo, basically how well it was done. You know,
Oh, man, it was-
You're doing
it
a
was
double
great.
take, you know.
He got the colors right. He got the position of the Swan right. It was well done.
See a car on pit road. It's the 29 of Scott McClendon, who's on the pit lane as we speak.
Dave Weishart now coming down pit lane.
Very interesting. We're around lap 120 to where these guys can try and stretch it. Well, this is the tire strategy. My apologies.
These are the guys going every 40.
So tire
basically.
strategy. Tire strategies would be about pitting once every 40 laps, and these guys are on. They will be on 3 sets of tires now that they have gone through. So they have two spare.
Jacob will be coming in shortly, I would imagine, since it's Speak of the Devil, and there he
There
is.
is Jake. I believe that's
It's
our
Cameron
leader,
Hearn.
Cameron Hearn. Yep.
Yep.
So
Cameron
Trito
Hearn
back.
in the lead. So yeah, Nate Trito back into the lead. We've gone over 120 laps without a caution.
What? I'm sorry. What? I was
Over
just checking a
120
few
laps
Z's. I apologize.
What was
without
it?
a
Yesterday,
caution.
yesterday we had 2 cautions, I believe. Pretty darn good for Darlington.
Guys, I got to take this call. I'm going to mute out, and I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
There's no calls at the racetrack, man. You're supposed to leave your cell phone at the desk. But anyway, Nate Trito, he's going to be trying to stretch this out for 50 laps. So I don't anticipate seeing him down until that little ticker up top says 150. So about 30 more laps.
The plus side about staying out longer for fuel is that you have the better set of tires. But at one point, they do even out. So interesting to look at.
Actually, the extending of the runs like this really should be hurting him because he's on the racetrack with a slower car longer, like 10 laps longer than Cameron Hearn is, because Cameron Hearn's coming down every 40 laps. He's coming down every 50. So he's given up a lot of time in those 10 extra laps. Thing about it is, he's hoping that by taking one less pit stop, that he gains the time on the racetrack that would have been lost going into the pit lane. We'll have to see how it works.
We will indeed have to see how that works.
But that's the gamble that Trito's trying to do.
Absolutely. I once again look up at my TV screen and see that my team is getting blown out.
Did they even show up tonight, by the way, Hunter? I was going to ask. It looks like I saw 2 water boys, a towel boy, and a cheerleader playing earlier. I'm not sure.
They're raffling off seats again?
Oh, there's Nancy Roethlisberger. So, yeah, I see she's...
It's very interesting you say that because the Steelers are a NFL team that do not have cheerleaders. So I'm not sure if that cheerleader came from Minnesota or not. But nonetheless, they are getting blown out as the Pittsburgh faithful would say.
Tonight, they're all wearing uniforms and helmets. Anyways, moving on, I saw Nancy Roethlisberger as your quarterback tonight. That's good. She's still looking old and haggled. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, although my wife is, and so if she can hear me, I will pay for this later on, but yeah, whatever. That's not a good game. I'm going to watch something else, I think.
We have a race in front of us.
Wait a minute. Nate Trito's running. Hey, he's winning.
Yeah, he's winning.
Has he led laps tonight? This is his first lap leading, right?
He's not schwinning and winning.
He doesn't need to.
He's just winning.
Around him to schwinn. Yes, Hunter, we will never let you live that down until... I think I'll let it go at the playoffs, but not until the playoffs.
Oh, there's Blair Patterson without a front clip. So that's pretty much that car is looking for a new engine.
Yeah.
So 15 cars now is on the racetrack now. Only 4 on the lead lap.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn, again, a lap down because he, cycled through.
Well, he is right behind the number 1 of Nate Trito, about ready to get his lap back.
It's just amazing how hard you got to work to get back to the lead lap,
The Cameron Hearn is running 29.1. Trito threw a 39.9 or 30.8.
30.9, yeah.
So it's a good almost 2 seconds between the two.
John Boy's coming up
1 second
right now.
Trito was still leading here, but now Cameron Hearn. This is what I was saying about it. Like, it's going to be another 22 laps before Trito goes in. And if he's giving up a lap before he even goes into the pits, Cameron's all over him. We'll see.
So you think that even though he's running a full fuel strategy, what you're saying is by the end of this, Cameron's still going to be there to challenge.
Cameron's going to end up, from what I'm seeing, Cameron is eating up more real estate than the one is saving by not pitting one time.
Gotcha.
So I don't think it's going to even be close. I believe Cameron will have about at least a corner ahead of him coming to the checkered flag if we go green the whole way.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to argue with Harold, but he was dead right on the other thing, so I'm just going to shut up and let him be right. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I had talked about it earlier. My first hardcore NASCAR 2003 victory came at this racetrack doing a fuel strategy. over some really good drivers. One being Cousin Carl, the other one being a guy with a junior in his name.
Bob Jr.?
Yeah, sure, that guy.
Jimmy Bob Jr. All right.
It happened to have been around the same time that it was the same year that the inaugural race was done here in under the lights.
I got you. All right.
We had raced, I believe it was Tuesday night leading into that week was the league I raced with those guys. And they kicked my tail on the racetrack, so I was like, the only way I'm going to win this thing is by not having to pit as many times as they do. And they was coming.
Jacob got one of the laps back there by flying around him.
But if you're watching and you have not tried out iRacing, it is a great ability to run into professional race car drivers, crew chiefs, NFL personalities. As you said, Mr. Long, I heard you talking about him. His son actually races on the service quite a bit. I've raced with him, and they're all like, hey, you're a football player. He's like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
He's pretty
starstruck. Yeah.
He's funny as heck because there was a week I think I was on a racetrack with him like every single day, 2 or 3 times a day when we were racing NIS way back a while ago. But anyway, he was just all the starstrucking is out there. But Chad Knaus likes to jump into the sim from time to time, and these guys actually race with their actual given names. A lot of drivers have fake names that they race under so people don't bother them. But I know Chad Knaus actually races in the service under his actual name.
Speaking of actual name, the actual name for the one car is Nate Trito, and he is still leading here tonight.
I know. Surprising.
Hunter's like, wait a minute, I need to say something.
No, I
am just flabbergasted looking at my TV, watching what is happening to my favorite football team as they are losing players left and right with injuries. They cannot stop the run. You could have a baby in the backfield for the Minnesota Vikings, and they will still somehow crawl for a touchdown.
That's harsh stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's like that Geico commercial, isn't it? With the trick play.
Take the trick baby out. Yeah. Nah, Cousins hadn't needed that tonight, but
that is essentially what is happening to my Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
But yeah, Nate Trito's continuing to run this clock down. I said I anticipate him being down at 150, and then Mr. Eric Wineland at 151, and that will be their final pit stops. You'll see the rest of these guys taking it to about 160. Where they'll take their last pit stops unless we have a late race caution.
Richard Thomas is currently running in 44 laps in the 11 car, so in third place. He's stretching it out too tonight, isn't he?
Yeah. He's on a
Another thing
different
being
strategy.
Stretched out is the Minnesota Vikings lead, as it is now 26-0 Vikings over the Steelers. And Nate Trito's in the wall because he was laughing so hard as the Steelers are losing.
We were being told yesterday in post race interviews that some of these guys actually have the Twitch on and are listening to us. So I was thinking maybe we shouldn't be talking as much about strategy because these guys might be taking information down from what we're saying.
Okay, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and go, they're not listening for that. They're listening for the idiot statements we're making.
Well, here's one thing in mind. If they do have the stream on and they listen to the different strategies, I would assume that they wouldn't just switch up their strategy, especially halfway through the race. And even now, as we're getting closer towards the last 60 laps or so, I would imagine that they wouldn't, switch it up if things are working out. If you're in that hole, you got to stay in it. Because if you switch it up, you're just going to be in a bigger hole.
Yeah, if you've made your bed, you got to lie in it here at this point.
Yeah.
So Cameron Hearn, though, is now within 17 seconds of race leader Trito, and about 11 laps, and he'll come down. So, we'll see if how close Cameron can get before Nate even goes down pit lane.
I see what you're doing there, Harold. You're still pointing out that you're right. I got you. I'm with you.
It's about a second a lap, and he's 17 seconds down, so it's going to be pretty close when you see Trito go dive down in the pit lane.
Yep,
But it-
so when
But it'll be his last pit stop.
I was gonna say, whenever the one crosses the line, that will be 60 laps to go, meaning that 10 laps from that point, any driver that comes in can stretch it to the end on the fuel. But the question is, what about the tires? Who's gonna stay out the longest and have their tires at the very end in case the late race yellow were to come out? We haven't had a caution all night, guys. 140 laps in, zero cautions.
Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah.
Now that it's funny, Ken says that nothing happens. Like,
Right. Right.
Hunter says something. Oh no. The NASCAR banana peel comes out.
Holy crap, Hunter, you said it and my screen came. It's as clear as it's been all night. I can see Nate Trito as if he's in my living room. This is the most excitement I've had.
Oh no.
Oh, and there it goes crap again. Never mind.
That's just my anger billowing from watching this football game that's still on my
You should
TV.
watch like ping pong challenge or something. I don't know.
Do you know what?
I'm not watching this.
How about I just commentate this Steelers drive, because the Steelers are going to get the football back. There's over 140 laps of this down. Might as well
I'm
provide
with you.
some excitement to those
You
watching.
add whatever excitement you want. I'm with you.
Especially some of those drivers, as you mentioned, some of those drivers could very well be football fans, and they do have the stream on. They can't watch the football game, obviously, because they're driving a race car. So if there's anyone out there that likes the Steelers or the Vikings, congratulations, your team's good.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that they lost to the Lions. So.
Oh, they are taking out their frustrations tonight in a 26-0 manner. I know Jacob Bell is a Dolphins fan, and they are on a hot streak, whereas my team is going to be on a different streak after tonight.
My team is on a hot streak as well, but I will not mention what team that is, but it is on a hot streak as well.
Mine is too, but it's not in the NFL.
Nobody cares about those maize.
Go Big Blue.
Nobody cares about Big Blue.
All right, well, let's see. Oh, the Steelers got the football here. It's 1st and 10 with Ben Roethlisberger taking the snap, handing it off to Najee Harris, who stops after a 3-yard gain and then gets pummeled to death by a group of Vikings.
That's Nancy Roethlisberger. Get it right.
Oh, Cameron!
Oh!
Cameron!
As soon as I talk about it, we have a
Boom!
spin on the racetrack. It's Cameron Hearn. He spins to the inside wall.
I'm surprised the caution hasn't come out.
He
You
is
should have
off
been
the
calling
racetrack, so
football
there
game
is no
before.
caution.
Wow. And that is going to definitely change the dynamic of what was going to happen for Trado and Hearn at the end here. Wow. Big mistake from Cameron
I guess-
Hearn.
I guess all I needed to happen was to call one play of an NFL game.
Yep.
Yep, and then go figure. The next play, the Steelers running back Najee Harris, stud by the way, runs for like 20 yards. So maybe I need to do more of this
Let's
to
do
get
both
some
of this,
excitement in.
Let's do
But
both of them.
man, that
Very
was
interesting. Cameron Hearn spins coming off of turn 4, spins to the inside wall. No caution came out because he was technically off the
He
racetrack.
was off the track. He was down low.
Oh, and Roethlisberger just threw an interception, and the guy is not down, and then he gets pummeled by Najee Harris out of bounds. So there went that.
Nancy Roethlisberger throwing another beautiful pass to the defense. Back on Cameron Hearn coming down pit lane. I'm just taking a stab that these are going to get some tires, I guess, you know.
and this is not a scheduled pit stop. He'll
It is
have to
not.
stop again.
Yep.
So this will be his 4th set of tires for Cameron Hearn. So he still has another set. Remember, these guys have 5 sets instead of the traditional 3 that we have because this is a 200-lap race.
Yeah, but he's going to be 2 laps down, about to be maybe 3 at this point.
Yep. Our very own Dom Leo. I know we call the Northern Capital Truck Series at Gateway. Was a really fun listen in. Said, "Oh no,
That was great.
Cameron." Yeah.
I
Oops.
loved having Dom on. That was good.
Cameron puts text in the iRacing driver chaps. It just says, oops.
Oops. Yeah. He must have been watching the football game or listening to that play-by-play.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's going to go 3 for 3 for this track this week.
It does not. It does not. No.
Now, Cameron Hearn won Tuesday night in Northern Capital Truck Series action, and then he won last night in the Lodgebox Series action. And tonight, he looked like he might have had a shot, depending on strategy, but with him spinning out, that goes out the window, and he could stretch it. Looking to see where he is on the racetrack right now on my.
He's about to get lapped by the leader here, as right there.
That's his name.
He went back down pit lane.
Yeah, so that will definitely take him out of contention then if he went back down pit lane.
And the number one's going to stretch it a little bit longer on this
What a
move.
shock.
Wow.
Yep. We're now inside 50 laps to go here. The last 50 presented by SimSpeedShop. We would like to give a big thanks to our sponsor, SimSpeedShop, for their support of the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. And racers, you can visit our website at www.simspeedshop.com to find multiple items to complete your virtual racing setup, such as button boxes, wheels, racing gear, and much more. That's www.simspeedshop.com. And in the middle of that, Reed just saw the one of Nate Trito come down pit road. So now that we are inside 50 to go, any driver that comes down pit road will be good on fuel the rest of the way. Question is, how many sets of tires do they have in case of that late race caution?
Well, Wineland and the number one, both of them are on their last pit stops. The one is actually just lapped Wineland on pit lane. So that's going to put David Weishart into the catbird seat. But he has 33 laps, so I would say in about 7 laps, we'll see him go down at 160.
Cameron Hearn has disconnected, ladies and gentlemen.
Cameron Hearn announced that he had a minute of damage. No fun. Great race, guys, as he leaves the race.
That is very unfortunate. It was either going to be Nate Trito or Cameron Hearn, and it could very well not be Nate Trito also. Unfortunate end to the night for Cameron Hearn. Had a really solid car, a race-winning car. Just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
That's right. All because Hunter had to call one play. So
Yeah,
Cameron,
I will.
If you're
I'll take
listening,
the
my
blame on that
friend, don't blame Cushy this time. It was the play-by-play. That's all I'm saying. You know.
So Weishart has almost 3/4 of this racetrack lead over the number one car, who's just now exiting turn 2, as Weishart is now entering in the corner number 2.
Could he drop in, get tires and gas, and still come out in good shape?
Trito's gonna, he's gonna lose
Holy
some
cow.
time.
You know what, guys? I just realized
Or
Blair
Trito's
Patterson's
in.
been on pit road for over 16 minutes. He just now came back on the racetrack. I was going to say, Cameron
Heavy
Hearn still
damage.
scored in the 15th spot. Well, Blair Patterson's got about 27 laps or so to catch up.
And he's got enough laps to take that position away.
Yeah, but does he have enough car still left on there to
That's
do
true.
it?
Well, he did a lot of repair job there, that Blair Patterson machine.
That's a lot of duct tape. Yeah.
Must have missed what happened with Blair Patterson. See, he's in the wall.
Oh, well, that's something we've not announced enough tonight. He's probably got chewing gum under the hood too, I would think, to hold on to it.
Just a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. You want to make sure that hood stays on at high rates of speed. Scott McClendon looks like he came down to pit road.
Yep, Scott McClendon on pit road. This really puts the one of Nate Trito in a good position because he's in second and he pitted. So he can stretch it on fuel if the caution doesn't come out. Eric Wineland back in 8th. As you mentioned earlier, Scott McClendon on the pit road. Christian DeBoer just came out of pit road.
See, I would have thought if I had a 17-second gap, it takes 14 seconds on your pit. I know it takes time to go down pit lane, but you don't lose as much that way. And Dave Weishart can hammer down and try to stay close.
Here we go.
Maybe reel him in.
We'll see. This is the last pit stop for Weishart.
Thank you for making me sound at least smart, Dave. I appreciate it.
Weishart now coming on the pit road once again for his final pit stop. This will cycle the one of Nate Trito back into the lead, looking to make it 2 in a row in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series, not only for poles, which he did last week at the Daytona Road Course, and tonight for the Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500 presented by Lodgebox, but he's looking to make it 2 in a row for wins.
A lot of guys coming down pit lane now for their last set of pit stops. A little bit early on the 40-40 set, but that's what they're doing. They will have enough to the end here. So looking for Davey Hendricks, the 54, Ware, Robertson, Jacob Bell, AJ Roderick, all needing to come back down to get their final pits down. So about 5 drivers left that need their final servicing, and everybody else good to the end.
There's Weishart. He did come out in front, so he's not going to go 2 laps down. If he can get up to speed here. And he should. Brand new tires. He should be able to pull away now.
So there's only 7 laps on Tritos, and that's on the lap. He's on the tail end of the lead lap
That's true.
with the number 1. So Weishart, Trito actually showing that it was only Cameron Hearn that had the way to beat him on pit cycling with the green flag racing. So Weishart wanting to see a yellow flag come out to reset the field.
Looks like he might have clipped the wall there going through 3 and 4. Definitely scraped it there. Bit of a wobbly exit there for the 108 Trito. As he continues to lead, we're now inside 40 laps to go. We're almost there. Almost there, guys. Oh, this is it's like the Rolex 24, it feels like, just how long this stretches out.
In the Rolex of 24. I mean, other than Cameron Hearn going, batty, and Connor O'Kresick, we haven't gotten back to him. So let's just go and get back to Connor O'Kresick. We assume that someone has pulled the plug on him while he was driving. Maybe he did something wrong. I don't know how old he is. He might have a wife that got mad at him. But anyways, we don't see him anymore. But the most excitement we've had is Cameron Hearn crashing. And somewhere I feel like someone cheered. I don't know why. Call me crazy. But, And
Might have been you.
It wasn't me. I like Cameron. I love interviewing
I
Cameron.
think Life went up there and talked to an alien, had something happen with their Crescent.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
Yeah. Something definitely went wrong.
He's like, can I trade? I'll bring you a Kresik and you let me go back.
Wow. I'm just overwhelmed how Nate just finally took the lead on this lap, because he hadn't been up there all night.
Now, as you mentioned this, though, Hunter, about the Rolex, but a race this long, all under green, and it only being 4 corners, technically in technicality, but basically turning twice a lap, you can kind of get into that, where your brain starts to go numb and mistakes get made. So we're not sure. See what happens.
Absolutely. Could very well happen.
All right, Harold, you take over for me for just a moment. Gentlemen, I'll be right back, because if I don't, I'm gonna need pull-ups. So, that's for everybody who's listening tonight. I'm running to the potty.
Okay, thanks for letting everyone know.
Hey, race car drivers just use their suit, man. You'll be all right.
So there's the one of Nate Trito trying to lap down the 12 of Eric Winelands. He's side by side going into the corner, and Wineland will let him go. He's got a car underneath him. I believe that's the 18 of Danny Ware.
That believes only 3 cars on the lead lap, the way Trito is putting down lap times. I don't see really anybody bringing anything back, as Davey Hendricks now going down pit lane. So only Nate Trito and Weishart are on the lead lap.
Just like a true Southern 500.
Wow.
Oh, man, what a night it's been. You know what? For the sake of it, let me call another Steelers drive, because they got the football, and they haven't done much with it tonight. So it's 1st and 10. Roethlisberger's going to motion out Zach Gentry to his right side. I believe that's Najee Harris in the backfield to his right. Ben takes a snap, a quick throw to Ray McLeod that is batted away. Well, I believe that is number 98. Don't know who you are, but you are playing better than the whole Steelers defense tonight. Mike Tomlin not looking pleased at what he's seeing, and I wouldn't be either, losing 29-0. had a slight feeling this could happen, but I was right. 2nd and 10 now. Basically the same play, same formation. Ben bobbles the handoff to Najee Harris, who's going to run up the right side past the 30, down at the 33. Going to be a gain of 8, going to be 3rd and 2 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So wait a minute. I go to the bathroom and Nate Trito gets in the lead. Where did I miss that? Wow.
Whoa, where? Danny, where needs some of that oil to lube up that car if he's going to keep smacking the wall like that?
Speaking of smacking, it's 3rd and 2 now. Najee Harris getting smacked around. Going to do a spin move, get out of the huddle, and he'll get the 1st down.
That was a heck of a fight right there. That was a move.
Najee Harris is the 1st round pick.
Danny Ware, while you tell that one, I'll tell this one. That's the most excitement we've had this evening as Ed pushes Danny up into the wall, goes around, and Nate Trito pulls away again.
Well, Najee Harris is the 1st round pick from the Steelers, running back out of Alabama.
And
it's a new set of downs.
Week.
Yep. Oh. A deep throw from Ben that is simultaneously caught. And the ref is going to rule that it's caught by James Washington. They're still fighting for the football. Look at the replay, Ken.
That's an argument.
Oh.
I don't know. That could be an interception. How do you tell control of that? Look at the one hand, the yellow hand. Now watch. He'll pull it down. I don't know, man. That's a simultaneous catch, literally.
It is a simultaneous catch, and the ruling on the field is that it's Steelers football.
Simultaneous doesn't mean always goes to the O, doesn't it?
Apparently it does, yes. Yes, it does.
Like tie goes to the runner, so offense.
Well, that's what I was going to say. AJ is coming around behind Nate Trito. And what does that mean? It just means he'll be 2 laps down instead of 3 laps down.
Trito
Nate's
in the wall.
Yeah. Just making
He's going
sure.
to try and stay out of harm's way. And it is a bobbled snap that somehow is a 1st down. How did that even happen? How did that even happen? It went off either Najee or it went off Ben. A flag is down, so this won't even count.
All right,
Snaps have been
Nancy's
awful.
Paying attention. Then it goes off. Najee goes back to Nancy. Nancy then throws the ball. And
It was a
Oh,
1st
up
down
into the
by
wall
utter
again to the
confusion.
number 1.
Nate's
he's actually-
probably watching us call that. And Nate, just drive the car, man. Drive the car. We'll tell you everything that's going on. Just drive, man.
He's got quite a bit of a lead now over the 3 of Weishart, though they are the only 2 cars on the lead lap.
Weishart almost taking away 7/10 a lap.
Yep.
He needs a little bit more than that. He needs over a 2nd a lap.
Well, not if Nate keeps finding the wall. He won't.
And there's a taunting call on the Vikings player. Congratulations, you made a tackle on a guy that is fighting for his life, his football life. I hope you're proud of what you're doing. Taunting while up by 29. And you wear number 29.
He's just making it match. That's all.
The
Yeah,
Weishart
he did.
having issues. He's got this string of 3 cars in front of him that he's going to have to deal with. It's going to slow
That
him
dude's
down.
nobody anyway. Number 29 on Minnesota is a nobody. He will be out of the league within the next year or 2. And even his teammates disagree, but he's in a mind of his own right now.
Everything I've ever seen. So, kudos to him.
Not when you do stuff like that. All right. So it's new set of downs for the Steelers. They are outside of the red zone. Now they are in thanks to Najee Harris.
Hunter, quick, look at your screen on the race and look how clear it is.
It is clear.
Yeah. Okay, go back to your Steelers.
Well, Najee Harris got the 1st down. That's a 1st down run. Okay. Good stuff, Najee Harris. Steelers are now on the 11-yard line.
Weishart still, even in behind those, Harold, Weishart is still
Eating
5/10 faster, yeah.
But it's not
Ben is going to
enough.
throw to James Washington, who will be stopped just short of the 1st down marker. It'll be a gain of about 9.5. Doesn't make a difference. It's still 2nd and short.
This is the clearest I've seen these cars all night. And it's
All
beautiful.
night.
And it's beautiful. That's like Nate Trudeau in the one. And it is.
So it's 2nd and 2 now.
2nd and 2. That's right, folks. Here at Aria Racing, we will also simulcast the football game and the race at the same time. You don't get that in other racing series. You don't get that color commentation from both sides. So I hope you're enjoying this evening.
Now, what I really want to see is I want to see Hunter do the play-by-play of the NFL play in conjunction with calling the race at the same time.
No.
Like you know, like a hybrid racing NFL.
the only time I will do it because this race has gone caution free for almost 180 laps.
Yeah.
This is insane. All right,
Somebody
so
hit somebody, please.
it's 3rd and 2 now. Steelers have the ball. They can
might
score a
score,
touchdown here.
Hunter, they might
could
score.
Highly doubt it, but they're going to try. Ben's
gonna
going to throw to Najee, and he scores! It's a touchdown for the Steelers. I'm going to wave my terrible towel.
Wave that towel.
The Steelers did not get shut out.
Meanwhile, this may shock anybody else who's watching. Nate Trudeau is still in the lead.
Oh, man. Only on the Araya Twitch channel will you
That's right.
hear
You're not going to
coverage
get
of
this in any of those
NFL
other
and
places.
coverage of the NFL and of the SimSpeedShop Cup Series at the same time.
Brought to you by
Unreal
Hunter and
stuff.
Ken. Hunter and Ken, those two guys who don't have anything else to do because it went green for 180 laps. That's right.
Green.
Listen to Hunter and Ken every Thursday night. You never know what you're going to get.
This is what happens whenever go 180 laps under green flag. That means we got 20 to go now.
Could you imagine the play-by-play when the King was 5 laps over the rest of the
yeah. Those guys are probably talking about what's on their hot dogs, how cold their Pepsi is. I'm going to go back up to you in the booth. Tell me what's on your hot dog. Well, it's great that you sent it up here. I've got a little sauerkraut and mustard, and I'm enjoying every moment.
I was like, the King is pitting now. It looks like he's got a rib sandwich, a Coke, and a Suzy Q. What the heck? He's just gonna have dinner. Like he's still 3 laps ahead.
Just like to point out here really quick, just to get back on the topic of football one more time.
Oh,
My
sure,
Steelers,
sure.
they are playing the Minnesota Vikings, and they have a running back named Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook has 18 carries tonight for 179 yards and not one, but 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And he is literally averaging almost 10 yards a carry. And in football, to get a first down, you need 10 yards. So he is basically getting that every time he runs.
So that just tells you how wonderful your defense is this evening, Hunter.
Yeah, well, they are missing some players dearly on their defensive front. And now that they scored, I can stop talking about football and the Steelers. I know they're going to lose.
Ah.
So let's go back to the race because we are
Oh,
getting inside the closing segments of the race.
Oh, look.
The Miller Racing
It's
Graphics
all fun.
Southern 500 presented by Lodgebox, and a race that was dominated by Nate Trudeau at the beginning. Then Cameron Hearn had his fair share. Then he spun out coming out of turn 4, had too much damage to repair or lost patience in repairing said damage, and has retired since. And the Steelers just got an interception. There is life in my team. Oh my goodness, what a night it's been.
If they come back on this, I'm quitting. I'm never watching football again.
They did it before against the Los Angeles
I know they
Chargers.
have. Yeah.
You could very well do it again.
I will tell you that every time you start talking about the football game, it looks a lot clearer on my screen. So if you want to do that again, that'd be fine.
I might as well. There's new life in this team, I guess. If they score, there's new life. If they don't, then they're...
Those of you that are wondering about the race, Dave Weishart has finally gotten under the 20-second mark, so he's really reeling in Nate Trudeau now. 100 more laps, and he's got him. The third place driver is 1 lap down. That's right. 2 cars on the lead lap.
It's hard to believe, but that is the case.
Yeah. Hunter, I don't know what to do now. I think I'm going to watch paint dry.
That's what my dad says anytime I put on basketball.
I like basketball. There's not anything good on. By the way, I'd like to point out, since you're pointing out about your Steelers, I'd like to point out that the West Virginia Mountaineers last night upset the number 15 Connecticut Huskies. That's right. We beat them in the Coliseum last night. I don't care how close it was. We still won. Thank you.
That is good to hear.
Yes, it is. I wish my daughter was there, but, she had schoolwork to do, so she didn't get to make the game. Oh, there's Jacob Bell changing the paint scheme on his car.
He's a little extra black.
He is trying desperately to get on back to the one lap down thing. I can feel it. That's what he's aiming for.
11 laps, actually 12 laps remaining for Trito and Weishart, with Wineland, the next car, 1 lap down.
6 miles away. Oh, there's Jacob changing the paint scheme again.
This is a performance that I don't think we will see for the rest of the season. It going 200 laps, green flag racing with only
Lord,
2 cars on the lead lap.
Well, I can tell you we won't, because this is the longest lap count of any race on any of the divisions on any night for ARIA. So for season 1, you will not see it because there won't be any this long.
Harold, this is what it looked like at lap 100. Okay, so I don't think it changed much. I'm saying I don't want to see this again.
We're now inside 10 laps to go. And the one had a bit of a bobble, but it's okay. He's got a lead big enough to fit a few school buses in between. Probably 10.
He could stop, wait in a corner, and then go.
Oh, he's
in the wall again. He's getting his Darlington stripe. So there's a 91 of Blair Patterson and racing in the modified paint scheme.
And Blair Patterson has passed Cameron Hearn for 15th.
Yay! Way to go, Blair. Congratulations.
With only 9 laps to spare.
9 laps to spare, but you did it, buddy. You did it.
As we were saying, this is our last of the 4 divisions to run the throwback series.
Wow. Hunter, call the game again.
And next week, we'll be at the Tricky Triangle.
3rd and 4. Ben's going to throw it. It's caught. Chase Claypool makes the grab, and now there's 3 people fighting for the football.
Excellent.
And Harrison Smith hurt himself on that play because he is grabbing his wrist. An amazing catch by Chase Claypool, who got his face mask grabbed while catching the football.
That's a heck of a catch.
Well, when you're 6'4" and you want music at practice, you got to make catches like those to make people forget about your comments, even though they will no longer forget your comments about practice.
That's true. That is true. But you have cleared up the racing a little bit better, so thank you very much for that.
It always seems to work that way whenever calling football.
7 exciting laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 7 exciting laps to go.
7 to go. This game's going to head to the 4th quarter, so I'll call the race the rest of the way. So I think Jake's just riding the wall back there for fun. Gotta be careful to not get too many penalty points, incident points, I said it again. Incident points, otherwise it could result in a disqualification.
There we see the long stripe being given there.
The 56 of Christian DeBoer.
Christian DeBoer, yep. He's making sure that he stays on the wall for quite a while.
There are, if that's a penalty from the ARIA, then that's one thing I'm not aware of. But there is no incident limit assigned tonight.
Oh, good. That makes it even better. We didn't talk about this. This is the most exciting thing. It just hit me. Is the flag man still alive? This has been a long race. Did he go to sleep? Is he still? He's still standing. Hallelujah. The flag man, ladies and gentlemen, is there. He's got his sleeves up, which means he's freaking tired and he wants to swing his arms. And there we go down to the inside.
He almost swung it there.
I don't know where
he didn't even flinch.
No. There goes Jacob Bell down low. Everybody coming off of that turn. Beautiful.
Those might be the people that are watching, just giving a little show there.
Yeah, that works for me.
Oh man.
All right, we've gone spotty again. So, oh, it's a commercial. It won't matter. Never
Yeah,
mind.
there's no football for me to cover.
No.
Boy, a dominating effort by the one of Nate Trito again. How many laps has he led tonight? I've lost count at this point.
6,000. I don't know.
I don't have that graphic up at this point.
I guarantee it's more than 100.
It's safe enough to say that he's led the most laps tonight, so he'll
How
get
dare
that
you.
bonus point, even though he won't be scored in the playoffs due to missing too many races.
This guy should still be in. I'm going to just rail for him. I don't know why.
Sound like the NASCAR faithful that were rooting on the 18 of Ty Gibbs this year in the Xfinity Series.
Well, he should have been in. That kid dominated. That was amazing. But he'll do it this year. Don't worry.
Everybody said in the offseason last year that it would be Austin Cindric's championship, and go figure, he loses the championship to Daniel Hemrick to get his first win and the championship.
Joe Gibbs.
Crazy. Yep.
Thank you very much.
2 laps
So
to go for Nate.
Yep.
Nate, just slow down. Just slow down. Just, you know.
He's going to work his way off of turn 4, and he's going to see the white flag in the air one more time around Darlington. Boy, oh boy, what a barn burner it's been.
Yes, it has. Woo! 1 to go. Yeah.
I know there were people that questioned the strategy call from the 1 to stay out and play the fuel game, but it got him in this position where he is now going to win the race. He works his way through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to scrape the wall a little bit. A dominating effort from Nate Trito. He's going to go on a winning streak here. 2 in a row for Trito, and he wins $100 tonight at Darlington.
The flagman is joyous because he can swing his arm finally. It's just amazing.
There he is, still the same energy, the same passion from our flagman.
Gosh, you gotta love that guy. He just puts forth such a great effort.
Now there goes the 3 of David Weishart coming around. He'll get $50 for finishing second. And then the final 3 spots currently hold to Eric Wineland, Richard Thomas, and Davey Hendricks.
That's going to take a while, folks, so just sit here and wait. They'll be eventually around and catch up to the flagman because they're a lap behind. So
there's the one of Trito there, down on the bottom. It's like a little congratulatory passing there from Eric Wineland.
Flag, yep.
Now, Nate Trito said last week he's not too good at doing burnouts, so he had some practice last week at the Daytona Road Course. He's got a little more experience now here at Darlington.
He still needs to work on it, but he's doing much better than Daytona. Attaboy. Come on, swing that car. All right, good enough.
Good enough indeed. And while we're at it, let's go ahead. Oh, he's not even in the place where we can interview him yet.
Oh, he left us. Okay. Hey,
but the one in Nate Trito,
yeah,
he pulls through and he gets the win. Here we go.
Yeah, it was a tight race.
Let's bring up our race winner here, Nate Trito. Nate, it's Hunter Harold and Ken in the booth.
How's it going, guys?
How's it going? We might as well just get your seat reserved for next weekend also while we're at it. I mean, talk about domination. You dominated last week at the Daytona Road Course. Hung on to that win. This week, though, very different. You still dominated, but you had such a huge lead to work with. Pretty sure you weren't nervous at all that you were going to lose it.
Yeah, it got a little sketch there just before halfway. I seen Cameron pass me, and I was just trying to do the math in my head, but knew it was too early to try and pay attention to that, so just kind of kept trying to drive my own race and still pounded fence about 4 or 5, 7 times, something like that. But, yeah, that's a tough race, man. That's a marathon.
Dude, you could have pounded the track 80 times and still would have won. I mean, for God's sakes, you beat the third place guy by 1 mile and 37 seconds. I mean, it's just crazy. Anyways, great race, great run. I'd like to ask you what strategy you used, but clearly it wouldn't matter because you were way out in front. So I'm just going to chime in and say I appreciated you. I enjoyed watching both weeks so far. Hope to see you next week at the Tricky Triangle. You got any ideas or strategy for next week?
Nah, nothing crazy. Just show up and drive. That's the same thing it is every week. Just trying to show up and drive and run the best you can. I was looking at the fuel window and decided that going with the 4-stop instead of the 5-stop was the best way to go about it, just because you had the spare set of tires at the end if we needed it. Thankfully, we didn't. But yeah, it worked out our way. This race, I'd say it went pretty well.
I would say so. Yeah.
All right, Nate. Well, you still show up sponsorless. What do you got to do to get some sponsors out here? These guys won 2 in a row. He's dominated the last 2 races. I think the only question now is, are you going to come next week at Pocono?
Yeah, I think every race I can make from here on out, I plan on trying to make. But from here on out, I might have to start from the back or something, try and get a little
How
bit
much
more.
does it cost to sponsor somebody? I can put my Sasquatch on your car. How much does that cost?
I don't care. $20. $20.
$20. Harold, we can put Cushy's 32 Sasquatch on that car for a race. I'll give him $20 for that.
I will give you good exposure.
$20 for a race. I think $20 for the rest of the season.
Oh, whatever, dude. If you're in, you can have a Sasquatch.
We'll have to do something. We'll have to figure out something.
Well, speaking of $20, if you multiply that by 5, that's 100, and that's how much money Nate Tritos won tonight for winning the Miller Racing Graphics Southern 500 presented by Lodgebox. Congrats on the victory, Nate. Any shouts you want to give out before you head out?
Appreciate y'all. Just same thing as everybody. Same thing as always. Y'all for putting on the broadcast and all the guys for putting the league on. Really appreciate y'all.
Well, we got off track.
You're really gonna listen tonight when
we
you get
really
a chance.
got off track. We were commentating the NFL game that's on right now, and literally the first play I call is when Cameron Earns spun out. Go figure. All right. Well, Nate, we'll let you go celebrate. Have a good night, bud.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, that was Nate Trito, your race winner. Now let's go ahead and bring up our second place finisher. It's the 3 of David Weiser. David, it's Hunter, Harold, and Ken in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, man, you
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't know what else to say at this point.
yeah, I didn't know where you were going there, but David, you won the throwback scheme. Congrats on that. Very, very cool looking paint scheme there. Got a second place run there. Had a top 5 car. Didn't have anything, obviously, for Nate Trito because he was almost a lap in front, but you got by Cameron Earn after his unfortunate spin off turn 4. Take us through your night, and how were you able to do 200 laps at Darlington and not wreck?
Right.
Man, this race was so long, I don't even remember half of it. Anything before lap 100, I don't even remember. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have track position early. I didn't qualify as well as I wanted to, and our strategy going in was that 4-stop, pitting every 40 laps, and yeah, I was just kind of cruising there behind Cameron, and I hit the wall a few times, took some speed out of it, and he unfortunately crashed or whatever, and thought that was going to be my opportunity, and then we had Dwayne Dunn down there spotting for us, and I was like, where's the leader at? And he's like, he's 20 seconds up the road, and I was like, oh, well, this is a race for second here at this point, so.
It wasn't even a race for that, brother.
Yeah. And what finished my car off was I was trying to get around Eric Wineland before we made our final pit stops, and I had the 11 coming up behind me on tires, and I was focused on him and just sent it into 3 and just killed the wall, and that took at least 3/10 out of the car, so made the car tight the rest of the night. So all said and done, I'm glad to come out of here with second place.
Well, congratulations on the paint scheme. It looks phenomenal. Congratulations on being second place, and most of all, congratulations on being the only other freaking car on the lead lap. So I don't like I did with Nate Trito. I don't know how much more I got to say, Dave, other than what happened to the Dragon view. Every time we go in camera, we get that puff of smoke. I didn't see it tonight. I'm a little disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say. Disappointed.
Look, man, this place is hard enough to go on here with 2 hands on the wheel.
I figured
so.
As much. No doubt. Well, yeah. Good job tonight. Really, though, you did run a great race. Really cool to watch you stay out there and kind of fight through 200 laps. But how do you feel about next week heading to the Tricky Triangle?
No, I love Pocono, man. It's one of, if not my favorite track. I always run well there. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
I
Take
don't
him
know
on home.
I was gonna say, I don't know if Ken asked you, but any shout outs you want to give out before you go?
Yeah, just want to thank SimSpeedShop for sponsoring the series here, Northern Capital, for everything they do for the league, and for us here at Samson, Russ Anderson. You know, he runs the show over there, and thank my brother Chris Seidenfeiden for putting this beautiful scheme together.
It's nice.
He put my scheme. He put both of my schemes last night and tonight together, and he did really good work on that. And thank everybody for voting for me on the throwback scheme. I appreciate it. It's makes me feel good that everybody else appreciates it too. So thank you all for broadcasting and everybody watching, and Jacob Bell, whatever, everything he does, and it's, yeah, I'm just happy.
Yeah, our broadcast, we lost our minds. We started calling football, and oddly enough, the first NFL play I called for the Steelers Vikings game, that's when Cameron Hearn spun out.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, David.
David.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that was the second place driver, almost at third place. David Weishart. Now we'll bring up our third place driver, Eric Weiland. Eric, how's it going? It's Hunter, Harold, and Ken in the booth.
How we doing, guys?
We are drained. Our energy is completely out the window. I see you.
He's got Gatorade. Yeah, got to hydrate.
Yep.
Gotta ask real quick, what's in that bottle? Is it water?
No, don't worry. It's just water. I've done Gatorade before. Actually, a little magic mix of yellow and blue frost, but I decided to go with water tonight because I knew it was going to be really tough. I can't tell you how many pounds I lost from sweat right there, but definitely as Nate just put it to me, a race of attrition from the get-go, and you had to really work hard to get to where you were.
Absolutely. It doesn't just happen in real life. It happens virtual too, especially to go 200 laps without a caution. You started in the back, didn't have a good practice, didn't have a good qualifying, but man, your race trim, it was set. Take us through your race, because I mean, you definitely drove your way from about 15th to 3rd.
Yeah, P15 off the start. Hunter was not good. I messed qualifying up pretty good. Just going right into the wall in the middle of 1 and 2 on my flying lap. And so we started at the back from that, and it was just, I mean, the first stint was all about just surviving. Once I was almost headed for the inside wall down the back early, and then it was just picking people off where I could. The rest of it, honestly, just chalked up to deciding to run a strategy that I thought was going to work. Running 50 laps each stint, I thought I was going to have just a better race pace overall, even though I was giving up time for 10 laps or more each time that the guys on the 40s pitted. And I mean, we beat them all except David Weishart, so I can hang my hat on that one and say we did a good job with the strategy, and it panned out for us.
Yeah, I was watching you too. I mean, you do a great job, even when you get caught behind a lot of times, Eric. You do a great job of just fighting back, and you and Nate seem to be on the same scheme. So I think that panned out extremely well, considering just how long the race ran. But I wish there was 1,000 things I could ask you right now, but I know you're tired, and so if you want to laugh,
I can go all night long if you want.
Well, no, what I want is you need to listen to our idiocy that was in the broadcast, because we were literally calling football and the race at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're not going to want to miss that.
Please don't tell me the Steelers are losing.
They're making a little bit of a comeback.
Oh, Nancy Roethlisberger.
Oh, what a touchdown! Oh, as we're talking about it, they were down. Let me just point out, they were losing 29-0 at one point.
Okay, guys, you're gonna break my heart right here, because I'm a Pittsburgh guy. Like,
I'm a Pittsburgh guy too.
Turn it on. You're gonna.
I will definitely get it pulled up.
I'll say I'm a Pittsburgh guy too, but yeah, they were losing 29-0 at one point. Ben just threw 2 deep passes, one of those being to James Washington. They're now down 29-20, pending on the extra point. There's still time left.
Y'all are tugging on my heartstrings, and I'm not liking it, Ken and Hunter.
I know. Well, listen, you're a part of the broadcast team too, so darn it, if you're gonna make us go through 200 laps of what we went through tonight. By the way, Michael Lipe has not come down out of space yet. I know you're worried about that too. He's not landed yet. But next week's Pocono, what you got for us?
We got something in store. Home track. So I enjoy it. It'll be interesting the way the racing pans out there, because I feel like aero's a pretty big thing with just the way the track's naturally laid out, and it's gonna be tough, Ken. A lot of guys in here are just really good, really solid on pace. I mean, you got the likes of how Trado on the same strategy as me just went out and beat me by a lap. And by the end of it, I mean, he had about the same damage I did too. So I got some work to do, some more practice to lay down there, but I just can't be happy enough with where we were tonight, and I honestly didn't see it coming.
Well, it's a good job, man. We really appreciate it. Why don't you do a little shout out since you know that's coming? What do you got for us?
Huge shout out to the guys at VRA and all of them for hanging out for the race. Just banter to keep us occupied for 200 laps. Some excitement, some screaming about some almost yellows as natural. And I can't thank Alan Elwood enough, not only for bringing me on board with VRA, but Elwood Designs. You saw the paint scheme tonight.
Beautiful.
Absolutely incredible. I'll tease you guys. We got another good one up the sleeve that we'll unveil maybe later in the race or later in the season. That I'm pretty excited about. Maybe you guys in Discord might have seen a little teaser of it. Thanks to Elwood Designs and everybody there for what the work they do, and thanks to the area and all the guys that Harold brings me into the booth on Wednesdays, and you guys that are able to produce these things. I've seen some great entertainment value out of everything. I'm sure I'm going to get more out of watching tonight back.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited for it.
As soon as I started calling the Steelers game, that's when Cameron Hearn spun out.
Oh no!
Like the first play I call, and then it's just, he's spinning off a 4, and everyone got their hopes up for a yellow to come out. And that
one more shout out for you guys. Huge shout out to my dad for still having this hat. This was my favorite driver growing up.
Absolutely.
This is my favorite driver growing up. So to have the hat and be able to throw it on for Throwback Week, we got the Kurt Busch shirt on too.
Oh, look at you, man!
There you go.
All right.
So we still got some throwback swag rocking, but I might ditch it for next week because it is entirely too warm right now.
I got you.
I can only imagine. All right, have a good night, Eric.
Thanks,
Hey,
Eric.
thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Harold.
All right, that was third place finisher.
Call Harold and Hunter told them to wake up. It's over. So just in case anybody fell asleep, we're done. So let's run through it.
Yep, that was third place finisher there, Eric Wineland. Let's go ahead and get your race results and hop on out of here. Nate Trito, dominating performance yet again, second week in a row, gets the job done and wins $100. And at Darlington, second place, David Weishart. Third, Eric Wineland. Fourth, Richard Thomas. And fifth, Davey Hendricks. Now, the top 5 are all being paid out. So first gets $150 to second, $25 to third, 20th to fourth, and fifth will get $15. So lunch is paid for the top 5.
There you go. Mr. Ed comes in 6th. Danny Ware, 1 lap down in 7th. Jacob Bell, the first one, 2 laps down in 8th. Scott McClendon, another good run, top 10 for Scott. Garrett Heath in 10th place, 2 laps down as well.
11th, we'll find Tyler Hallman. 12th, AJ Roderick. 13th, Garrett Grant. 14th, Christian DeBoer. And 15th, Blair Patterson.
Cameron Hearn comes in 16th. Connor Okrezik, who we've not found yet, it comes in 17th. Delonte Ballard in 18th. Brad Slaughter Jr. in 19th. And Kyle, I Took a Nap Sr. in 20th.
I knew you were going to say something about his last name and taking a nap with tonight's race.
Yeah.
We're going to get our Elwood Designs race recap. Pretty sure there wasn't.
We're in throwback. We're in throwback week.
Oh, so there was no graphic for that. All right, well. Let's just say that in the most laps led tonight, say over 100. I'll say around 130-ish. Okay, right on the dot. 138 laps for the one of Nate Trito getting the job done. And winning tonight, fastest lap I would assume also goes to Nate Trito, or it could go to Cameron Hearn.
We don't
By the way,
20
zero cautions.
Actually, it'd be
No
Richard
caution.
Richard Thomas.
Oh, John Boy. All right.
28.746.
Sweet. Way to go, John Boy. Get back to the Walton's house.
That was
You
very.
don't get that, Hunter. You don't get it, but it'll be okay. No cautions. I don't know if you all caught that. Hunter mentioned
I did.
no cautions.
Zero.
And it could have been a lot longer then. Good thing it wasn't. So, Tricky Triangle next week. Monday, we got the ARCA cars. Tuesday, we have the trucks.
I
Wednesday,
look forward to that.
got the X cars. Thursday, back to the Cup. Then we have 2 weeks off. And then we go to Alabama. To start the new year. So, the 2023 starting off with a bang, literally at Dega.
So, Hunter, just because we're going to have 2 weeks off, you never know. I might sneak back into the booth on Monday again.
I'll be prepared for that.
You should. But no, I look forward. I've not seen Pocono run on iRacing, so I'm really actually kind of excited about that as well. Do not watch the TV screen, by the way. I'm just trying to keep your attention so you don't look up.
I've already seen it. I've already seen what's
My
happening.
bad.
My energy is drained. I'm pretty sure all of our energy is drained. We'll come back recharged Monday night for the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series at Pocono. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. There was a absolute barn burner. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more excitement. But nonetheless, congrats on Nate Trito going 2 in a row here in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. From all of us up here, executive producer Harold Darner, second-hand man Ken Kushwa, I'm Martin Sleppy saying so long and good night.
Good night.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.